Yellow. How is everybody doing? Probably should sit up straight for once. Hey there.
Let me make something.
Well, hello there. Well, hello there. Good to see you. How is everybody doing? No, I do not have a southern accent, so I should stop trying to play it off like I do. Hey from Seattle, what's up, Seattle? Seattle. I don't let anybody know I'm going live. I agree. Just do it. I go live. I just go live. Just like go live and stuff, you know what I mean? Like things and stuff. What's going on, everybody? Friday evening. Drinking a little water. Don't forget to hydrate. Do not forget to hydrate. Come on in. I am not, no topic. Just chatting. Just chatting. Trying to see how this looks on my phone, and I don't think I can see it from my phone. Clearly I'm online. What? I'm getting your hopes up about what? I hope I'm getting your hopes up. You should have your hopes up. I think you should all have your hopes up. Thank you for joining, whatever that means. Thank you for joining the fan club. Still got to figure that out. At some point, they'll realize they were connected all along. I don't know what that means. Got to be clear. Got to be like super clear about things. If you're vague, I don't know what that means. Have your hopes up. No, MAGA won't tear them away. MAGA is they are soft. These are soft people, yo. Soft people. Super soft. Some might say the softest people. Thank you for Political Nerd. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It means a lot. Your vids are on the collapse. I don't know what that means, man. Waiting for it to come crashing down. I don't think my videos are doing that bad. I think they're doing pretty good. Thanks for watching them too, guys. It means a lot. That's why I came on here, is because you guys watch my videos and you are good people. Wow. Dude, are you really going to spam my chat so I have to come and block you? Ugh. People like these are very interesting. Yep, I agree about that. You don't need to spam my chat with a giant text block. Don't write big text blocks. I think that's what we should learn on how to use the internet, everybody. Thank you so much. I appreciate you watching my videos. It means a lot. Honestly, it means everything. You guys watching my videos means a lot. It's very, very much. So I appreciate it. But you know what? We have to talk about comments left on like social media. Do not write okay? I'm not going to read it. And it's not that I don't want to read it. It's just that I am scanning, I am commenting. All of these comments are left by me. So if I see them, I don't want to get stuck. I'm going to read like a sentence because I scan through. So I just want to give you guys a heads up. I am not going to read your stuff if you leave me a book. If you want to hire me to be like a person who reads your book for you, you can do that. But it might be expensive. Educating people. Yes, I love educating people, political nerds. It's one of my favorite things to do. Brevity. Yes, I agree. You know what? Also being concise, like just being concise in general. Like if you think you should say like this much stuff, it's a bad idea. Like force yourself to think a little, and I'm not saying I'm guilty of it too, right? The lazy person will just keep writing. The succinct person will write and make it so that it fits in. Oh, you've seen people cite my videos? If you could ever share that with me, I would greatly appreciate it. I've seen a few too, and I'm collecting them right now. My goal is to do something with this. So if you can help me find wherever they are, I would be grateful if you could. I definitely have seen them lingering, and some people tell me about it. And they're like, oh yeah, thank you for the 50 stars. I don't know what that means, but it probably means you sent me something cool. So I appreciate that very much. So yeah, short story long, don't write books in the comments. Oh, sweet. You even have the link for me. Even better. That is so cool. Thank you so much. That is awesome. Oh, I really hope that's a video that you're not just tricking me here.
A scammer used the AI generated MAGA dream.
That's not me. What the heck, dude? I know that video. All right, I'm not falling for any of your dirty tricks anymore. No more tricks on me. MAGA complains they have to read it too. I read it too much. Yeah, that's funny, man. Man, there's like a shadow on my teeth and stuff. I have normal teeth, but they look weird because they're not exactly straight. So the lighting always makes them look weird. Your videos are awesome. Thank you, Facebook. Sorry, I'm not trying to neglect you. Oh, nice. Lucas, I've annoyed so many. Thank you. I like that you annoyed friends and family with my videos though, because I can tell you some of my family were looking for reasons to like bring up my videos and they just couldn't do it. They're very avoidant people. I find it fascinating. And then they just like use like little things to like trigger a confrontation. And then they just like dump on me. Oh, your videos. It's pretty funny, but at the same time, it's also very sad because people are, I don't understand how people can't just like talk to each other. I don't understand people sometimes. Thanks. Thanks. I appreciate that. Well, as you can see, I'm real. Here is literally my studio right here. We're in it. This is my camera right here. Oh, I'll just blur it out. I hate that. So I get comments all the time. Thank you so much. You're doing incredible work. Thank you so much. That means a lot. So I get comments all the time saying I'm like AI. And I'm like, dude, if I was AI, would like one of my eyebrows be like hanging out like this on one of the videos? I don't think so. I'm not AI, dude. That kind of entails you kind of have to like look flawless. Don't you think? I don't think I look flawless. I have lots of flaws. So clearly AI would do a better job of compiling a human than me. Yeah, it's a high-end camera. I've had this camera for like years too. It's not like I bought it for this. I just was like, oh, I'll just turn it on one day. And it just started working. I can't believe you thought I was AI though. I just think it's funny. There's so many imperfections. I don't know what that little thing is on my head, but that was cool. Yeah, anyway. I have videos made about this. How do we provide cult members a way out that doesn't damage them? I have videos made about this. They're on my YouTube. They're on here. They're on TikTok also. I made videos like that. It didn't seem like a lot of people liked them though. I kept making like how to ask questions, all that stuff, and people did not care about those videos. But I have them and they're on my Substack. And P.S. you guys can subscribe to my Substack and it's free. Like it's funny. It's like when I can afford it, I'm like, you don't have to afford it. You guys can just subscribe. It's just put your email in and you get my emails from Substack. So, yeah, it's on you'll see it. There's literally a post on my Substack and it says, these are the there's like a PDF of like cult questions too. You can like just download it real quick and you have these questions and like how to talk to people. It's a Substack, not a stack. It's basically, I'll put the link in I don't even know if I can put a link in this box right here. Let's see if I'm missing any comments over here now. Hey, have you come across other MAGA cults in other parts of the world? Yeah, organized religion. It's organized religion is pretty much a kind of like a cult. It depends though. Some of them are like way worse. Your videos are really explained the mind of the maggots. Yeah, well, I know them so well because I have some in my family. So it's pretty easy to have a conversation with them. And all of a sudden I have like videos for days. Let's see here. Paramount deal will give Trump's friends control over CNN. Yeah, I'm disappointed in that for sure. I've always been a CNN person too, because it's funny how conservatives like try to compare, oh, you're both the same, I can't tell the difference. Yeah, of course you can't tell the difference because you know if you actually were honest, it just wouldn't work out for you. Yeah, it's interesting that conservatives try to compare, or anybody, middle of the ground people that claim to be the middle of the road, which they're not. If you're middle of the road at this point, you've got a major issue, clearly. That's like saying you're middle of the road during 1930s Germany. I'm still unsure in 1938. I don't know. I don't know no one's giving me a good option. Yeah, okay. No one's giving you a good option. We got a problem, you know what I mean? And we know how to solve it. And it's not stay in the middle of the road. This is a hard time right now. So I share them both on my Facebook page as well as advise others to watch. Thank you so much. Share them all you can, please. I am on a Substack and I post a link under every one of my videos that goes right to my Substack. But I mean, I post all my content here too, guys. I just make longer, more interesting articles on Substack too, though. Thank you. Oh, that's so cool. I love your videos about how Fox News is. Yeah, you know, that's, did you see that one on, I couldn't post that. There's one on YouTube I could not post on Instagram or on TikTok. It's only on YouTube. And yeah, I think the biggest danger of our societies right now is propaganda. And you can't say bad things about the propaganda channels, or you get in trouble, or they ban your videos. I've had a bunch of my videos banned again. These videos that you see on my TikTok or on Facebook and stuff like that, Facebook's never really banned any of my stuff, but TikTok has absolutely made it unbelievably difficult to post. Like I would post them like 5 or 6 times and they would just get blocked. And then I'd have to re-upload them. And then sometimes it'd be like, oh, you're posting duplicate content. I'm like, what? This didn't even go live. You blocked it. Like, what are you talking about? So I've done a video about TDS. I can do another one though, if you guys want. I'm doing one. So I did a video not just on TDS, but I did I'm doing a video on whataboutism and TDS soon. So I'll throw TDS in here. Let's throw it in here. This is my list. I'm making a list. I'm taking requests, guys. Taking requests. Give me some requests. Oh yeah, I forgot. I was going for the link. What are you talking about? Yeah, hold on 1 second. Here is my link to my Substack. It's pretty easy though. It's just lucasbean.substack.com. Pretty weird name. Thanks to my parents over here. I don't know if this will get through. Okay, there it is. I sent it in the chat. If you guys want. Yeah. Yeah, it's once you know what kind of stuff they're using in these conversations, these like tactics, it's so boring because when you have to use tactics to debate people, that means you don't actually have a debate. You don't have any strong points, so you have to lie, and you actually have to like basically, I don't know. It just feels disingenuous when you have to use tactics in a debate, unless you're like truly debating a topic in like debate club. But there are a lot of people that do debate for full-time work and stuff. So no shade on them. Those guys are really good at their jobs. I enjoy, strangely enough, it's like debate. I like watching YouTube videos with people debating now. I don't know what happened to me. That used to be crazy to me, but it's like every now and then, I think it's the urge. You want to see people change. It's like the urge that you want to see them, you see the possible potential of them changing. And you're like, oh my God, maybe I could change. Maybe I could fix them. That's pretty funny. But I think that's what I came to the conclusion of. Everybody's watching The Necessary Conversation. I can't stop watching The Necessary Conversation, by the way. It is an interesting show, but at the same time, it's the same thing. It's just it's like a toxic relationship where you go back, hopefully expecting something back, and you never get it. Bob and Mary Lou are never going to change. Like they never will change, right? Like Mary Lou will change if you can like remove her from Bob. I would say within 60 days, she'd be like a totally different person, but you can't fix Bob. I think they talk to Bob with like baby gloves on, and the only really way to reach guys like Bob are to literally talk back to him the same way he talks to you. They start to respect you after that. Strangely as it may sound, you start talking back to Bob the way he talks to you, and then all of a sudden this like little door opens up and goes, okay, I like this guy. And like the door opens up and then he'll talk to you. But his kids also don't want to be too hard on him because he's an old guy. He clearly did not take care of himself very well up until older age, or something's wrong with him, where he's going through some kind of dementia or something. So I don't know what it is, but it's definitely obvious he's like a real sick dude. He seems like he's like just wants a hug though. I think he needs a hug. He needs friends and a hug. I see liberal hosts, which, okay, if you say liberal right away, I start to think, are you a MAGA dude? Come on now. So you see liberal hosts behaving badly, making the debates seem like they are angry men. No, they are angry people. Just from my post today, you could go look at the comments of these, and yesterday, just combining these two people. No, not a MAGA. I don't know what that means, dude. You got to be clear. But if you look at my post, there's like people that are like threatening me, physically threatening me, which is funny. I think it's kind of funny because they're like, I'm going to stuff you in a locker. Like, that's what they're thinking. This is like a 40-year-old dude talking to me on like Facebook going, I'm going to stuff you in a locker. I'm like, I know that's what you want to do because you're a bully from like grammar or high school. And that's who we're working with here. That is the majority of MAGA. They were used to be bullies. They peaked in high school. Like, this is all like real stuff, guys. Like, this is just truth. They don't like it. Greetings from the UK. What's up? I love the UK. Although I've only been there. I only spent like 3 or 4 days there in 2024. I'm a big fan. The weather though, problem. Do I write? Yeah, I write all of the text. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I actually write all my scripts, which I don't understand. People are like, why are you so AI? I'm like, strange, because I'm a human and I write my scripts myself. All I did was make a bunch of templated type scripts for myself, right? Just make a few different ones and then I just fill in those. It's really easy to write when you know how to write. But it's also, I have to admit, I don't always feel like writing, but I spend about 4 to 6 hours a day writing. It's a lot. It's hard. There's never an easy day of writing, I guess. Easier, but not easy. It does. By the way, David on Facebook, they do make it into their feeds like crazy, which is why I would say I have more MAGA comments on my videos than I have people who like truly support my videos and agree with me. There's probably, I would say for every 4 comments, 3 of them are MAGA. So I don't know how it happens either, but I think they use them to like, let's get them. And they go in and they come in and like mob my feeds, which I'm fine with, but I committed to Carlos and arguing with my mom last week. She just dug in deeper. Yeah, that's the problem, is that these people before Trump, these people could never admit they were wrong. It doesn't matter if Trump or not Trump. These are the people that could never admit they were wrong in life. So you're trying to have people you're trying to change people, and you're very like optimistically trying to change someone who's never going to change. And you don't want to hear that because you want to see, just like Bob and Mary Lou, like you want to see like, oh my God, I was there when it changed. It's like reality TV almost. You're like, oh, I want to help them change. I want to fix them. And that's kind of our problem, our empathetic problems, is that we all want to fix and help and make people's lives better. And yeah. It's sad that, yeah, I'm so glad they see it too, but at the same time, I have to admit, I signed up for this, so don't get me wrong. I thought it was like my duty as another human being to start making these videos because of Minneapolis is basically what pushed me over the edge. Fox News, yeah. I lost a family member to conservative media as well. But it was like, I think it was talk radio first, and then it went to, I don't remember what he used to listen to, but my father used to listen to that stuff, and it was really bad. Thanks for that. Cheers from Minneapolis. Sweet. That's so cool. I love the internet. Like, we could be anywhere in the world right now. We're all chatting it up. That is pretty cool. Yeah, Bill O'Reilly, but also Rush Limbaugh was, I think, my father's downfall. So he started listening to him, then he went to Fox News, and I mean, like, he rage watched the news. And it was like, I remember I would give him a call every now and then, and he would just be, you could just hear it like blaring in the background, and he's on his laptop. So he's literally sitting in his like chair. Oh, thanks, Canada. Sitting in his chair, and he's like typing and looking up internet conspiracies and watching, rage watching Fox News. And he's just like, he just became such an angry person. I never knew he never was such an angry person until like the late 90s, early 2000s. And he started sending me like these horrible emails that were like super racist. And I was like, what are you doing, dude? Like, who's sending me this stuff? You brought us up to not be this way, and yet you were this way. So it didn't make sense. Like, I'm your son. I have the values you've instilled in me, yet somehow you are become this horrible, angry person over things that you're somehow aggrieved about everything. And I find it interesting. Man, it's hard to see, but I wish I had both chats just like in one, but I have like TikTok over here, and I have this other one. It's on the same screen too. Let's see. I don't want to neglect my Facebook or YouTube people here, but humor me. I recently binge watched Boston Legal. I couldn't help think that Predator Trump seems like an evil Danny Craig. I've never seen that show, but and also I don't have a PhD, guys. Like, I'm not like some PhD like doctor over here. I always thought I should be, by the way. I always wanted to be like just to make people call me doctor. I'd be funny. They'd be like, oh, how's it going? I'm like, that's doctor. As a joke, of course. But that's a lot of work just to make people or jokingly say, oh, that's doctor. Thanks very much. I've never seen the Boston Legal stuff. Let's see what this other guy says here. Do you think DT is cluster B? Yeah, of course. He's definitely, from what I know, he's definitely, I think, my unbridled opinion is obviously he's narcissistic personality disorder, but he's also, he does not care about hurting people. He enjoys hurting people. So when you enjoy hurting people, I'd say that's a problem. I don't know how to exactly phrase what that is, but he's got sociopathic, he's even got like, I would say psychopathic ways about him. Do you realize how much hurt he had to go through though, for him to turn into that person? Like, his father and mother must have been pretty bad to him. I know it's funny that I feel empathy even for him. But I do feel empathy. I feel bad that he must have gone through a lot. My family member in MAGA because he watched Fox and nothing else. He finally is against Trump. Oh, I lost your chat. Darn it. I was just reading the rest of it. There's a lot of chats coming in there all of a sudden. Just waiting for the Facebook MAGA to start like flooding my chat, being all weird. Yo, love your content. Thank you. Great books. I appreciate that. I did not see the unhinged tweets last night, but if you want to share them in the chat without, I mean, as long as it doesn't get me banned or anything here. Yeah, share it away. So yeah, thank you. I put in scientific information because I am, like, at the end of the day, I guess you could say I am a scientist. So there is that. I care about data and facts and science, and I always have since I was like 6 years old. That was my way to keep my reality very clear. I love the science and facts. Yeah, when MAGA women didn't get their food stamps, I think they did leave the cult. You think so? I don't know. I don't even know how many get food stamps, to be honest with you. Oh, here's that chat I thought I lost. Here we are. I posted a satirical video from the State of the Union, and they commented, yeah, that's not good. Never invalid debates, you said, just insult. Yeah, that's the problem. You're never going to get into a disagreement with one of these folks that they're not going to eventually turn to insulting you. Like, they're just going to do that. Like, you can try and be like, wait, we're having a logical conversation. Like, why are you saying something about me? And they'll just start insulting you. And you're just like, wait, but we're talking about like something over here. What does me have to do with that? Talking about this topic. They can't control themselves because they have nowhere else to go. They have so much rage. They have so much shame. They're just angry people. And it's not because of you. It's because they can't control themselves and have a regular conversation. They have very little patience before that little rage trigger clicks off. And then it's over with. As soon as their rage trigger clicks off, you're not going to be able to have a conversation with them anymore because they're filled with rage and shame and all that stuff. Interesting. Yeah, I'm reading a lot of this I'm reading a lot about moral, like how religion gives moral foundation, where I made a video, guys. I have a bunch of like videos I made. I went crazy the other day and made a bunch of like videos, but I have some on like religion that you might not like. Because a lot of people use religion, unfortunately. They're not born, or they don't have a moral compass in their lives. And because they don't have a moral compass in their lives, they don't even know what that means. They have to use a book to get their morals from. And then they wonder, and then they go, oh my God, how do you have morals without having a book? They can't relate to people who actually can create their own moral compass internally without using religion and a book of morals. And like, I don't know anybody that uses a Bible for their morals in reality, because the people I'm around are actually smart people. To me, at least, I find it difficult to create. Why would you want to create your morals? I guess religion could be a good starting point if you don't have morals to begin with. But eventually it's like, in a way, it's like a martial arts. Like they teach you like the basic stuff, and then you learn your own strategy or your own form from that martial art, right? And then you start doing that martial art the way you do it. And I think maybe religion's a good starting point if you don't have any and you're very young and your parents aren't good at it. But usually parents give you a good moral frame to start from, like good, what's good and what's bad as a child. And if you don't have a moral frame to work from as you get into as a teenager or even a young adult, that means you weren't raised correctly. That means you were raised in a neglectful way. And when you're raised if you're neglected, which is a type of abuse, right? You need a rule book because you never got the rule book. So I guess that's kind of like how people use it, right? But then here's the thing: the people that use rule books don't understand how you don't need to use a rule book. So then they put their beliefs onto you, right? So that's the problem that happens. Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's a crutch for people who feel intimidated by being on their own. Yeah, but I mean, life's hard. Life's hard on your own, right? At the end of the day, none of this is easy. If it helps you praying to God and all that stuff, that's great. There's no shame on that. I just think if you borrow your morals from a book and then you can take that book and set it down and then you forgot your morals because you haven't read the book recently, we've got, Houston, we've got a problem. So, all right, I'm going through these Facebook and YouTube. How can MAGA mouth breathers watch? I don't know. This mouth breathers is hilarious. Watch old movies like Mississippi Burning or American History X and not realize that they are the That's so true. I honestly, I think they do know. I actually think they know for sure. They just don't want to be the bad guy. They want to be, they are the savior in their story. I think that's what it is. I have a video by the way. I don't know if you have seen this video. I haven't put it. This is my video about collective narcissism. Like, I have a video I haven't posted yet on Facebook. I'm going to try and post it everywhere, but it's on YouTube and I haven't posted it to TikTok yet. So, But there was some guy that was in my comments on Facebook, and he was like, rah, 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 just like saying horrible things. So I went to his I always look at these guys' profiles, because just in case they decide to like threaten somebody, I'm going to take down their info, and they do something crazy. I have all the data. But yeah, so there was this guy, he said some crazy stuff. Sorry, I'm like a giant tall dude, and I'm like sitting in this like little chair just to fit inside the frame of the camera. So yeah, I was like, I have a video, and I went to this guy's profile that said awful things, which I go to all their profiles and take the little pictures and show them back to them. They think they can hide. And then I used I saw a video on this guy's thing. He was trying to be a content creator, and he's like, I don't know how old he was, probably in his late 50s, early 60s, but he was saying some horrible things. And I made it into a video, my first reaction video. I think it's my first reaction video. I made a reaction video, and it's on YouTube right now. It did, it got a lot of views. I don't know if people liked it or not. It seemed like they did, but reaction videos are hard to make because you have to like do a lot of like editing. I do a lot of editing of my own, but it's a lot in a straight line. I don't really use anything else except for my face. And anyway, short story long, his video, he basically came off like he was talking in the first video that was pinned to his profile. Like he was a warrior knight is what he called himself. Us warrior knights are going to come in here and clean house. We really got to take care of these guys once and for all. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy is so delusional. This guy is like crazy delusional. So I took a clip of another video that I already made that I couldn't believe it fits so perfectly into the narrative of the video I made. I was like, wait, I literally just explained this in a video, and the guy is literally making a video on his profile that's exactly the archetype of the person I'm explaining to the T. I was like, how could this be any closer? And I was like, thank you for doing giving me the exact evidence for my video. Hi, Lucas. When is the year? I'm going to say 2027. Seems like a long way off, but it's already April. At the end of April. Whew, time flies. Time flies. Do-do-do. All right. Oh, well, you should have hope, because guess what? People like me exist. If I exist and I'm willing to like make this content, and there's got to be, I'm not special, right? So there's got to be a lot more people like me. Yeah, it was kind of cool. I put a little blush on my face there. Yeah, you should have hope, because it's not, we just can't let these folks have power again. It's clear as day. Like, you should not be. It's so funny how like humans forget so quickly of like the past, but it makes me a little sad to know that we have to go through this in our generation to find and remember all this stuff that's happened in the past. The past is basically repeating itself. Hey, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that. All right, let's see what I got over here. Facebook, YouTube. There's so many comments. Yeah. Wow. I'm so over my coworkers being on the MAGA cult. There is no rationale. Yeah. Well, I don't understand it either. I don't know what you do for work. So like, it depends on what kind of job you do, but MAGA is pretty heavy in like, yeah, it depends on if you're in a small town too and stuff like that. So small town people for some reason. Malignant MPD, yes, absolutely. Yeah, he's making a lot of money from this war. Thanks, Marcus Law. I appreciate that. Do you think my authoritarian followers actually fight it and are empathetic liberal just by sheer willpower? I don't know what that means. Maybe. I don't even know. I don't know. I think a lot of these folks just don't want to admit they were wrong, and it doesn't. None of this affects them. They think they live in some backwoods town somewhere, and they don't think any of this will ever affect them. And then all of a sudden, gas prices are $6 a gallon. They're like, hey, you know what? It's worth it. I'm paying the Trump toll, and it's like, oh, you're crazy, dude. Like you're willing to spend $100 just so we lose $10. You can't argue with like crazy people like that. Yeah, Trump made a lot of money. I wouldn't say, I don't know if he made 300 billion. That's a lot. I never heard that number. I would have to look at that. I don't want to spit off like numbers without knowing them. Thanks, Live on the Net. I appreciate that. Have you looked in? Yeah, I've made some videos on white identity politics. There's like, someone said a comment to me on Facebook today that I was like, I have to make a video about that. I can't believe I haven't made a video about that yet. But it was collective bully culture in the conservative space. And they will bully you back into submission. And if you don't follow the rules, they'll ostracize you from your small little town. And when you live in a small town, think about that. You have like 10 friends. And if they're all Trump supporters, you're screwed. They don't really have the ability to, I live in California, so I live in a big state, but these people live in like tiny little places, and they've lived there for, they grew up there and they live in the same town, which is nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, think on that, right? For a second, think on it. Just like think on it. No, for real. Think about it though. Like think how these people, these are people too. Yes, they use their parts of their brain are used more than others, but that doesn't make them not people. These are still you probably would have got along with a lot of these people 10, 15 years ago. Well, not gotten along with them maybe, but they wouldn't have been like this identity, like politics driven is what I'm trying to say. Surprisingly, I've talked to few of them in my Facebook comments. Like they'll come, not comments, but in like my chats, because my chat thing is open. They'll like say something to me like really awful. And I'll be like, hey man, we'd probably be friends if it wasn't for all this. And they'd be like, they like are caught off guard by it. And then they like simmer way down. And then you're like, hey man, like I saw a couple photos on your Facebook profile. You seem like a probably a good dude. Like, why are you really this angry? Because it can't be at me. I'm just making videos. I'm not talking about you specifically, but if you feel triggered by them, that means you obviously something in yourself. No video will ever trigger me, ever, unless the video triggers me to the point where someone's being really naive, or someone's being like, I don't know, I guess you can't really hurt me because I grew up with like a bunch of brothers who tried to do that like every day, like 50 times a day. So you can't really, words and stuff like that don't hurt, and I don't know, it's so weird that like these people get triggered so easily. Facebook is not right wing. Facebook is boomers. That's where all the boomers live. And if you make a meme and you put it on Facebook, and by the way, Facebook I think is the biggest problem we have. I thought it was like Fox News and stuff like that. And I still think Fox News is obviously a huge problem. But Facebook, holy cow, do they have so many fake Facebook pages that are like news this and glory that and United States this and that. And it's like, what is going on here? Like, what are all these like Facebook pages that are showing me these Facebook pages? Every one of these like Facebook pages are pretending to be like some kind of like informational blog news site, and none of them are. And they have like 1 million followers sending out memes like saying arrest Obama or some crazy stuff, and everybody like believes it because it's in a meme. And they're like, wait a minute, dude, like this isn't real. Like just because it's in a meme doesn't make it true. And I made a joke, and I took an old Benjamin Franklin, like it's like a quote with like a picture of Benjamin Franklin in it. And I'm like, watch, I can make one of these too. And I put like Benjamin Franklin in it, and it says, MAGA is like anti-democracy. Anybody that joins MAGA is literally anti-America. And like, and it says like, quote, Benjamin Franklin. And these people are hilarious. They're like, that's not real. It's like, yeah, I know it's not real. Franklin's been not around for a while, dude. That's why I think it's funny. Clearly, it's not real. Republicans. Yeah, I would say it is Republicans' fault because of Trump. Man, I have so many comments here. I don't know how to scroll through them. All right, here's one that I want to answer. Why do MAGAs that talk about civil war never get the practical aspect of knowing how they would decide who to fight? Are they going to give people a questionnaire before? Yeah. So the interesting part about that is also like they think that none of us know what we're doing if something like that happened also, which I find fascinating because I have been doing stuff like, hey, I don't know what that is, but that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool how you can just like throw a cowboy hat on me. I think it's funny that people think like that. I was raised in a very conservative household too. And, you know, let's just say I'm a highly trained person. And I think it's funny that just because I'm an intellectual person means you guys like have a chance at all in harming me. I think it's funny to me. But whatever. Let the Gravy Seals think they're going to do something. Meal Team 6 is going to come out of the woodworks and get us. Can you make other videos besides political psychology ones? Yeah, I have made a few videos like that. I don't think I've released them yet, but I make political psychology ones because I needed to understand it, and I felt like this was kind of like my duty to make content that spoke to people when there was no content that was out there that I liked as much. So thanks, man. I appreciate that. So yeah, I will start making content. I mean, especially when the regime change happens, like, what am I going to do? I mean, am I supposed to, like, I'm more of like have you guys ever seen the movie? Oh, it's so corny for me to even say this. So corny for me to even say this, but so corny. I have a post on my Substack. You might like the book Vigilante Nation. Why? Vigilante Nation. Oh, is it about? Yeah, probably, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of people who like call for like weird stuff. Like, I don't know. I don't like people who instantly go to like violent stuff. I'm not a fan of like people who do that. I don't understand. I've been studying warfare my entire life since I was like 5. And there's some famous quotes about it that, you know, everybody's like, oh, war is politics by other means and stuff like that, like famous like battlefield or warriors in our past. And it's like, dude, like once you have like a civilized society, you should not be going to war over people, dude. Like all that stuff is like super primitive, like lizard brain stuff. Thank you very much. Are you kidding me? Oh, man. All right. I am a kindred spirit. Thanks for leaning into the collective and sharing your great. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Oh, bonjour, new subscriber from Iowa. Not exactly the language I would have expected from Iowa, but you know what? Bonjour to you as well. Please, more Obama obsessive. We need to hear more from straight white guy. These people have no empathy. Yeah, I agree. There's a very big lack of empathy. It's because they have different reward systems. Like these MAGA just don't care about, they have less empathy because they don't, I don't know how to explain it except for they were hurt a lot as kids. And they think empathy is weakness and all that stuff. I'll make more Obama stuff because I love Obama. Like, that's easy to do. Like, it's like trying to study like JFK or Abraham Lincoln or something. You know, Obama's the best president of my lifetime. I'm just so happy that I'm around to have a dude like that that's just so classy. So like, he just put together, man. This guy, he is literally, I wish we could have him as president for the next like 20 years. He would be great. It's too bad. Thanks. I was recently introduced to your page, Facebook. Appreciate your insights. Thank you so much for being there. Can you make other videos besides? Yeah, I already answered that one. Maybe I'm going backwards here though. Do you think a new political party will be formed? So here's my thing. New political party. Now, what we saw in Hungary, was it Hungary or was it Budapest? I don't even know anymore, dude. I'm not so good with this stuff. I think it was Hungary though. Shoot, why can't I remember? You guys can correct me. What was it? Where did they just flip? Yeah, it was Hungary. That's what I thought. I was gonna say I went to Hungary and then I afterwards I went to Turkey. Oh, that was a dad joke. I'm not even a dad. Go figure. So yeah, Hungary. That's the reason why Hungary was able to oust that dude. Hey, Health and Happiness is here. One of my favorite people. She's awesome. Heck yeah, you're awesome. Big fan of Health and Happiness. Let's see here. Yeah, you rock. You already know you rock, though. Health and Happiness. Come on now. Come on now. You know you rock. I'm good, Mr. Dej. I have to go back over to these comments. There's so many stacking up here. The yeehaws, y'all. What? Y'all Qaeda. Y'all Qaeda. That's hilarious. Their behavior is much like rooting for a favorite sports team. Yeah, it's kayfabe. It's WWE wrestling is what they tried to do. And you're right, it is very much like that. I was writing a book back in 2018 about this whole thing. And it was like where people got their validation from. And there was a chapter in it called Toxic Validation. And this was it. Like it was literally talking about sports and stuff like that, about like how people, who is a spammer in my chat? Is that spam? I can't even tell. Yeah, it's pretty much spam, isn't it? All right, spammer, you're gone. I don't think I blocked him, but I muted him. I'm gonna block him though now. Peace. All right, so yeah, I was right. I think you're right about that. They are very much like a sports team or WWE wrestling. They don't care that he like Trump's the heel. They like him because he's like the heel is both the victim, yet is always the most strong person in WWE wrestling, even though I haven't watched it in like forever. It's probably like 30 years since I watched wrestling. But that's what these people are like. They think it's like wrestling. They think this is all entertainment. I made a video that was absolutely, I feel like it was absolutely true. I can't say it was absolutely true, but it felt absolutely true. These people will burn their house down and then sit in the ashes of their house and watch it on TV and get entertained by their house being burned. And they're just like, yeah, look at that. It's like, bro, that's your house that you don't have a house anymore. It's like, that was so good though. Like they just do. If you have seen the movie Idiocracy, you'll know exactly what I mean. There's a guy in Idiocracy. He's like driving down the road. They all get out of his car and they like run away and they all like start blowing up his car. And he's like, yeah, I get it. He's like, dude, that's your car. And he's like, yeah. He's like cheering the most of them like destroying his car. And it's like, oh my God, what in the world is happening in this world? Let's see here. Science is important. Yes, I agree. Thank you very much. User 73354280461887. You should probably change your username. Did you feel like you had to deprogram yourself since you grew up? Nope, I did not deprogram myself. I lived in a household where because I questioned things. I asked questions. I was inquisitive. You don't want to do that in a household like that. You don't want to have you don't want to have you don't want to be you don't want to have a lot of energy. You don't want to be positive in a household like that. There's a whole lot of stuff that makes you like the black sheep. I was definitely the black sheep. So if everybody who's been a black sheep, you guys all know. You all know how it was to be a black sheep, and they kind of like force you into this outsider role so you can see all their hypocrisy. If you call out hypocrisy in an authoritarian household where it's go along to get along, you are the enemy for life. And every authoritarian household needs certain roles to fulfill the dynamic. And one of them is the black sheep. Exactly. See, I knew you were the black sheep. One of them is the black sheep or the scapegoat, right? Same thing, basically, just different name. And they need to be able to dump all of their life's pressure and depression and everything on. It's all of their fault. It doesn't matter if you did anything wrong or not. You will always be wrong with them. So it's really interesting to go through the dynamic. It's really unfair, by the way, because you don't get to choose it, right? You're like 5 or 6 years old, and you're in like a family. If you're in a family of like more than just you as an only child, it's going to be chosen. So for you, you know what? I can't just let people up to talk. I already had a problem with that last time, and someone came up and said horrible things. So I can't just like let people up to chat this time, guys. I want to so badly, but I need to be able to know who you are. Oh, look at that. I don't know what that was, but that's pretty cool. It's pretty funny. Yeah, a friend of mine said that to me the other day too, Mr. DJ. All right, go back to YouTube and Facebook comments here because I have a lot. When you have time, I hope you'll cover wannabe Trump politicians around the world. A federal conservative leader in Canada that follow the Trump playbook. Would love your thoughts on him. Yeah, anybody that's going to play the strong man. So here's the thing. There's been like strong men throughout history, and the problem with them is they always have a simple problem to like a ridiculously complex. Yeah, I'm a leftist in a rural Tennessee with a family of MAGA. Yeah, I totally get it, Jess, but I don't know who you are. I believe you, but you could come up here and start screaming horrible things, and I can't do that right now. If I had a moderator or something like that, I would totally do it, but I can't. But if someone comes up that I know, I will definitely let them up. So yeah, I lost your comment, darn it. So yeah, strongmen, that was what we were talking about. There's going to be, so when anybody has when there's a complex problem, thanks for joining the fan club, that's awesome. There's a complex problem. I know you're my moderator for the chat, but can you add and remove people from like audio? I don't know anything about that stuff. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about there? Health and happiness. You can? You can remove people from the audio if they start going crazy? Okay. Remember you said that, because if they start swearing, you're going to remove them quick. Ready? Get your finger on the trigger. Is your finger on the trigger? I'll add Mr. DJ for 10 seconds here, but don't get mad at me if I remove you if you start saying crazy stuff, dude.
Lucas, what's up, man?
Mr. DJ, have we talked before?
Yes, I've been on your panel.
Sorry,
like
dude.
twice already.
Yeah, but you got to remember, man, I haven't done this in like weeks. So
Yeah, we're both in Southern California.
oh, sweet. Sorry about
We
that, dude.
talked about, yeah, no, it's all good. Well, last time I was on your panel, there was somebody that came up and started saying some crazy nonsense, and then you had to boot them. They were saying you had a
Oh,
couple of them.
dude,
Yeah,
there was one
it was your first
person,
time.
one person
Yeah, it was
like
your,
came up here and like made like started saying a horrible word, and I was just like, dude,
yes.
why would you say that? I don't understand. But they were like trying to, I guess, trying to get the stream banned or something like that. And I was like, what a just a horrible person, dude.
Yeah, it was
These are
me,
like,
you, Lisa, and it was your
yeah.
first time having a, opposition on your panel.
Shoot,
Your very
am
first
I
time.
echoing by the way? Is there echoing going on?
Uh, I don't think so. Say
Okay, good.
something.
No, it's good. As long as you don't hear echo and I don't hear echo, we're in a good spot. Can you still hear me?
Yep,
Okay, cool.
loud and clear.
All right, cool. All right, so my mom has a chemical imbalance. Okay. The doctor has been able to understand psychology. Why they closed them? I don't know. I'm not a psychiatrist, so I can't answer medical questions. This is all for fun. That's a weird comment. That's a weird. Obama graduated from Harvard, magna cum laude. Yeah, of course, dude. He's a genius. Um, why would you want someone to call you weak? I don't think I am calling any person weak. I think conservative culture builds weak people, though. Like it just does. Like I'm not allowed to say that conservative culture builds weak people. Yes, of course I am, because it does. I grew up in conservative culture and I've seen the weak people it's built. Good luck with trying to convince me not. Um,
Can you go into details on that? Because I mean, I grew up in obviously democratic culture, democratic family. So like to say to have that direct viewpoint, like I guess you see inside the eye of the storm while I am looking at it from 20 miles away.
yeah, I have like family members that are very much Trump supporters. So like I've never been. I've never been a conservative person. I've always been a progressive person in my life because it just made sense. It was for progressiveness was for the progress of people, right? Progress of humans. I think all humans should be able to have a good chance at being successful in life, whatever success looks like for you. And I think, a progressive left leaning stance is the way to go right now. If there was another party that came along, it might actually be better than what we have now. But I just don't see that happening anytime soon, unfortunately. But yeah, man, I grew up in a very, very non-progressive home, very authoritarian type home, and I talk to these people all the time. They're family members, so I actually kind of have to. Um, and it helps because it helps me understand like where they're coming from. But it's all the same stuff, guys. It's like straight up, it's all very similar. What you hear on the internet is exactly what they're thinking in real life. Like it's just true. Um, which is why it's so
Oh
easy to make this
no,
content.
that's just so hard to believe, like it because we're in California.
Yeah,
So people are it's the bigotry, the isms, it's so much more subtle.
yeah.
So it's just like I want to believe, but I'm like, like I guess it's just hard to see from California lens. You know what I mean?
It is hard. I get it because I also don't see it. I don't see it as much here either, like you just said. Like it doesn't make sense to me. But then again, I'm a Caucasian dude. So like who knows? Like you'd think they'd say it in front of me. They'd feel more comfortable saying, stupid things in front of me, and they just don't. But
Yeah, like
I also think they know that it wouldn't be acceptable to me. I'm literally one of the people that do call people out, and that
yeah,
they do not like. Nobody likes boundaries, is what I'm starting to realize in life. Like you give them a boundary and they feel it, they take it like a personal attack. And it's like, dude, just don't say that stuff. It's not appropriate. And they'll just, and it's like basic stuff too. And I don't know, man. Everybody you could think of, and you're just like, oh man, are they really like that? I can tell you right now, they are probably 10 times worse than what you could think of. So in real life,
facts, facts. I
you know,
mean, but you know what? Since I've gotten into the political sphere, and and I talk to these bigots every day, and it's like now, and you read up and you educate yourself on this stuff. I can spot the microaggressions from like a mile away, and even when I talk to friends and family and stuff like that, and like they come across something in actual life, and I'm like, hey, that was a microaggression. They're like, what is that, so it's like I start explaining things, and you don't realize how many people are not as educated as we are about politics
Right.
until you actually start educating people and having these conversations.
Yeah,
And
it's true,
it's
man. It's
crazy.
true. Like it's you have to also remember we all come from like these crazy, like we think that we are this education and like being intelligent in any way is like normal. And I can tell you there are people that have no clue about things that we think are like basic knowledge. Like straight up nothing to do with like politics. So we're talking just like level of like able to read even. They can't like I believe this there are some statistics on like how many people could read. And I think like 50% of the US population are have like a sixth grade reading level or something like that. And I was just like, what? Like, why don't I see that? The thing is, like, just drive through like a red state and you're just like in shock at the people or that you bump into. Not even a red state, probably outside of a city of like I guess you could say like a major city in California. Let's just say drive outside of San Francisco is a good example. If you drive east of San Francisco, right? I think you'll come into contact with people who are just small town people, don't really need a lot of education. They work farms or vineyards, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just guessing. Like I said, I don't really know the answer, but I know that there are definitely places I've been to in my life where they were they just didn't understand like basic stuff, and I was like, wait, what? How am I this smart, or are you just don't know these things? And I'm like, I don't think it's me being smart. I think it's just that we take our intelligence for granted. The IQ of the United States, I think, is much lower than you think. But it's
That's really unfortunate because like it's funny because my parents and aunts and uncles and stuff like they used to tell us we're the future. And now it's like when I talk to people that are like older than me, twice my age and stuff like that, plus or minus a few years, like some of them don't even know what a policy is. Some of them don't even know like basic history. And so when you're having, I've gotten to the point to where I just, whenever I conversation with anybody Republican or conservative, the first thing I ask them, how many senators does your state have? You know what I mean? Like the
yeah,
basic, who's the president of Puerto Rico? And like a lot of them don't even know. So yeah, I completely understand where you're coming from.
yeah, man, it's crazy. I don't want to believe that. By the way, of course, I don't really. I don't know. It's just weird, man. I think it's super strange because I can't relate to it because I'm not really around people that don't get things. Um, so I guess we're lucky though, right? We're lucky that we don't live in a place where there's a lack of intelligence around. So imagine living in a small. I know people that live in small towns, and they are surrounded by a bunch of people they've known forever, and they're all gossiping about each other, and like small things happen, but yet it's like a big deal to them, and they all talk about the same stuff. And if one thing happens, like, oh, you will not believe what Jimmy said, and Jimmy said something like, hey, I don't support Trump anymore, they will ostracize that guy. It's like group bullying, man. They'll be like, no, we got to get you back into the group because and those people will be like by themselves now. They literally live a really lonely life because now they're outside of the circle, and the town is so small. It's there's just so many of those small towns.
So what's your perspective? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I've got a question on another note, but I have a story with regards to small town.
Please, please,
So, I come from small town USA,
yeah,
and we had gone home. My kids were probably, I don't know, 8, 9 years old, something like that. I have twins, right? And they were young, and we were on the way back home after the holidays, and they said to me, Mom, how come everybody sits around the table and talks about everybody in town?
yeah,
And I was like, that's what they do in small towns,
yeah.
you know?
It's super unfortunate because I definitely see it, and I go back and like from where I'm from, and like I'm from New England, so it's a pretty It's not like a non-affluent area. It's a pretty nice area. But you go back and small towns and everybody's talking about everybody. And it's like, I can't believe this. It's not like it's a small town. It's like an hour and a half away from New York City and it's an hour and a half away from Boston. You know, it's like, this isn't like in the middle of like absolute nowhere. And you think like, wow, how does this even occur? But it is like these people live in a small town and big deal. Like it's super slow. Like there's really nothing going on in that small town. So kind of makes sense. You got nothing else going on. You live in a town.
For you.
Yeah, sure.
What do you think of this deal with Tucker Carlson?
I knew that was going to happen. They're all jumping ship. I think it's going to happen more and more. And let me tell you, I can tell you, I got conservatives' opinion of that, and they had a full-on meltdown when I showed them that video. Oh, he's a traitor. He's horrible. And I was like, what are you talking about? This guy has been your guy for the longest time. And they were just so mad that everybody's jumping ship. And
Did you see what was that other guy? He's collaborates with Tucker. What's his name? Rogan
mhm.
with his shirt off or
I
something like
I
that.
made
He was
a
crashing out.
yeah. You're Alex Jones. Alex Jones. You're talking about yeah. Alex Jones was definitely crashing out because the Onion bought his website. The Onion bought his website and is turning into like a joke website or something like that. It was pretty funny. And it's pretty awesome. I don't know if you guys ever watched The Onion, but there's some really great, they made some, I used to watch it all the time. Really hilarious, like parody news. So he's like really upset that he lost everything because he said horrible things about, you know, that whole Sandy Hook stuff for like a really long time. And, you know, I guess he got in trouble for that. So it makes a lot of sense that he got all his money taken away from him. But yeah, man, it's he crashed out. There's a bunch of people that didn't support him. I made a couple of videos about like who stopped supporting him because it's really important. I think it's really important for these folks to like understand who's not supporting him anymore because conservative news does not tell you who bailed. Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Alex Jones, all that stuff. Exactly. Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly is a big one, by the way, too. They're really doing like they're really messing up when Megyn Kelly pulls away because she has the hooks into the conservative wives. The women on the conservative side like are psychotically addicted to Megyn Kelly. From my point of view, I've seen it a lot. Like that's their bailiwick, as you may say. Like that's their like linchpin in their whole thing. I want to say something here. This comment. I think it's important that we also acknowledge that even though there's these small red towns have bad vibes, there are always good people in them too. Of course there are. There's always. I don't even think these red people, these MAGA people are really as bad either. They're obviously they're bad, but they're not as, I think they would snap out of this pretty quickly if it wasn't for all of these identity politics. Don't get me wrong. They'd still be angry. They're collective narcissistic people. Like at the end of the day, I could not agree with that anymore. They want to be special because they don't have anything going on in their lives, guys. Like, even though they don't like empathy, you kind of have to show them a little empathy. I know it probably sounds crazy, you guys, but I'm an empathetic person, so it's hard not to. But at the same time, they think our empathy is weakness.
Can we bring Justice Moore up?
Who?
Justice Moore, begging to come up.
Do you know who that is?
All
right, here's the deal. You let them up, but just make sure to remove them really, really quickly if they say anything crazy.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Okay, go ahead, Jeff.
Real quick though, what's your take on where do you think America's gonna go, or the Conservative Party, the direction of it post Trump presidency? 'Cause it seemed like I can't get a clear insight. It seemed like they're just all jumping ship trying to prepare for that, but it just seemed like he still has a lot of people following him in a way. You know what I mean?
I think there's a lot of people following him because of the collective bully effect. I think people are following him, and there's always going to be fanatics. So like when Germany fell, in World War II. Obviously, we can't say certain words. So, but when Germany fell in World War II, like there were fanatics that stayed and fought even after everybody surrendered. Like there were still crazies that believed in this stuff and still fought. And you're always going to get that. And there's going to be people that are not smart enough to know when the game is up, guys, right? At the end of the day, like if they don't know that by now, it makes me feel a little sorry for them because everybody's abandoning ship. Like all of the people that got them to like go into this are like all gone now. And like the first, I think I made a video about this, but there's like layers of like MAGA support. And I think like there's like that level one. Yeah, thank you. That level 1 support is gone. And like then all that's left now is like these people that were like believers, and then level 3, which are like fanatics. You're not going to be able to do anything about. But these people had nothing else. They live in a small town, and MAGA was the move because they have nothing else going on in their lives. Like their lives might feel out of control for them too. And that might be their one thing that they feel in control of.
Okay, and Lucas, I'm sorry. I know that I'm not sure who it was that.
Is this Jess?
Yeah, I'm not sure who it was that advocated for me to come up, but thank you.
I'm glad you're not. I'm glad you're a real person, by the way.
I am a real person. Yes. I live in rural, small town, Northwest Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
My entire family is evangelical Christians,
Yikes.
and they are all MAGA Trump supporters.
Yikes.
You know, I literally, I really am a true person who.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're real.
Yeah, I really am. You know,
Yep.
I am. You know, I'm empathetic. I'm a chronic care manager for a nephrology practice. You know, this
Sure.
is what I do all day long.
Right.
I don't know what my family does. You know, what everyone does that I see is they operate off of fear.
Yes.
It's not reality. It's not, that they don't understand what, having true thinking is, what looking at actual facts are, seeing what the reality of things are, that they don't look at that. They don't know what critical thinking is. They don't understand what's going on. And I don't know what to do right now. I'm trying so hard. We have to look at what's going on right now.
Who are you? But who are you talking about? So let me ask questions. You don't have to go into too much detail. Of course, I don't really want too much detail. But do you have? Is it like people you live in the same house with?
No, I'm 47 years old.
I wasn't sure. You never know. It could be someone you live with. So
right.
So it's not someone you live with. The only way, if someone's in a cult and they're crazy, the only way you could be a good person for these people is to be there and have a door. Like, you don't have to do this, by the way. Don't listen to me at all. This is just what I would do. Be there and have the door open, because you don't have to talk to them every day or every week or even every month, but just remind them that you're still there, because when this collapses, which it absolutely is in rapid collapse right now, they're going to need people to get back together with, because otherwise they will go right back to finding some other extreme movement. And this is going to definitely shake up their world, and they're going to have nobody to like talk to. And if you could be, I know it sounds really hard to do because it really is, be the empathetic ear that's the non-judging ear is the most important ear, even though they deserve.
What you're saying is this is my mother, this is my sister, this is my entire family. I'm the only person, like I said, I'm in.
Were you the black sheep?
Yes, I'm the black sheep. Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's pretty obvious.
I watch all your videos. I love everything you put out.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm the only person in my entire family. I am in rural Northwest Tennessee. Tennessee is bad.
I've never really been to Tennessee.
Yeah. Well, you really need to look into Tennessee, especially the legislation that we are passing right now.
I don't mind avoiding it for the rest of my life.
Right now, that is trying to get into the Supreme Court.
It's crazy.
It is. But what I'm saying is that where I'm at is, I'm empathetic. I am like you said, I am the black sheep.
Yep.
I'm the person who is looking at what are my actions going to do to affect other people.
Exactly.
I have always questioned, especially, religion. I was raised evangelical, but I always questioned it. I was like, when they say everything has to have a creator, and then I said, okay, well, God, who created God?
Mm.
There was always, I always had those type of questions that no one else was ever prepared to answer. And so I was shunned. I was pushed out.
God
you know,
forbid, God forbid you ask a question. Isn't that crazy? Like
yes.
you're just like, wow, I'm inquisitive. And they're like, oh, well, we got to tamp that down. You can't be inquisitive in our household. Like, are you crazy? Like, imagine you're too much. You were too much probably to them. That's what they probably said to you. Oh, you're too much. You're too
And,
quiet
and,
down.
and that's exactly what it is
Yeah,
we have to, you cannot, no one is too much.
I
You are
agree.
not too much.
I agree.
So
Anybody you have to shrink, anybody you have to shrink in front of to not be yourself in front of. And I'm not saying be crazy. If you're crazy, don't be crazy. Be respectful, stuff like that. But if you have to shrink yourself, just be you being you and your energy level of like just being positive and stuff like that. But you have to shrink yourself to like fit in around people. Like it's easy for me to say this, by the way, of course, it's really easy to say. But when you have to do this, when you have to shrink yourself, those aren't your people. Like it's just true. Good people will appreciate you for you, and you don't have to shrink or be different or mute yourself or, do something different than who you are in front of them. They should accept you for that. But if they don't, I don't see that as a positive thing.
Same. And I think the thing that's hard for me is because I follow you. I have followed you. And the thing that for me that I wanted to talk to you about it is the fear reaction, the way that, the people on the right are, they react more to fear than anything else. It's not critical thinking. The way that they react is to fear. And that is what I'm dealing with my family and with everybody else that I know. We have to learn to not react to fear, not whether or not these, immigrants or whatever are coming in to harm us or
we should also reframe the phrasing too, because it's like, I caught someone saying it the other day in front of me that they go illegal aliens, and I'm like, every time we say immigrants or illegal aliens or like something like that, like I feel like I'm not saying you said this, by the way. I'm just saying this out loud. You didn't say that at all.
Well, no, because aliens is not that's not what they are.
Exactly. They're people, and it's like it's funny because they use it to dehumanize people, and then they feel like it's okay for something bad to happen to them, and it's like, I correct people, and I'm like, what? They're undocumented, like just regular human beings trying to like get work in our country and like get a better life. Like, why would we be so like harsh on these people? Like, I don't know why you have to speak this way. And when you correct people, man, do they get mad? It's crazy. And like, but I'm just talking about MAGA in general. Okay, continue. Sorry.
Right. What I'm saying is, how do we get past, like you literally, like you just said, like how do we get past that point of fear and just get them to see the humanity in people, especially the people, like my family who are, these evangelical and, Christian nationalists.
Well,
how do we get past
Christian nationalism is illegal. So that's dangerous right there. So I feel you on that. So I would say, I don't know. I mean, just they're doing illegal things, and it's very much anti-democratic. And I'm not talking, the thing is, like, I think they think democracy and Democrat are the same thing, and they don't understand.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yes, they absolutely 100% think that, that the United States is a republic. So they think that republic means Republican. And
yeah, that's crazy because like a democratic republic means you're electing representatives, but you vote those people into office in a democratic election. So we do live in a type of democracy. This is a democracy. They might not
Well,
like that it's a Republican. They think it's a Republican. The funny part is like they do, and I noticed that too. That's why I said like they think. I asked them to look up, somebody I knew. I go, hey, you know what? You keep saying liberal as if it's a bad word, but did you know that the term liberal democracy is what you actually live in right now? Is a liberal democracy? They're like, you're crazy, and they would not look it up. I had to show them physically and go, look at this, and they would not read it. They are that antithetical to the truth because it doesn't support the narrative. So they have this like cognitive dissonance. By the way, dissonance. I say dissonance.
I know what cognitive dissonance is.
No, I know, but people tell
know
me
what
I say it
Darbo
right.
is. Can I tell you that
Sure.
I am actually, like, when you get down to it within my family, I'm not even a democratic socialist. I'm almost a communist.
Oh, wow.
I am that far left.
Communism. Oh, so here's the thing. I am a left-leaning person, but I don't think any extreme is good. I think extremes are bad in general.
I agree.
Yeah. So like
Yeah,
a
because
communism doesn't work. It never will. There's always corruption. It's basically kind of led by a dictatorial person as well. I think communism and the far right version of that, which are what happened in Germany. We can't say that word out loud. But
right.
it's
I think that I am more of Marxism.
okay. I'm no extreme is good extreme. Like I think
Well,
you would not like that situation either.
yeah, right.
So
Once you go so far left, you end up being right.
I think people just don't know what the extremes look like. And if you studied like a lot of history, I've studied like tons of history,
hmm
that it just extremes start to look alike, right? So like, let's just say, which country can we use without saying the F word? But let's just say the Germans and the
but no,
40s,
hang
like
on.
they were a very extreme far right. That's what happens when the far right gets into power, is what
Right.
happens in Germany in the 1930s and 40s, right? And then the far
But
left is
let's not equate
communism.
let's not equate being too far left to being the F word.
Well, it's not. It's the too far left is communism. Too far right is the F word. It's a far.
Yes.
So just so you know, like the Germans, and if anybody's ever questioning this, you never have to question it again. I'm going to set the record straight. Germany in the 1930s and 40s, and Italy in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s under Benito Mussolini, they were far right. That's not left. That's not socialist. That's not anything. They were against socialism. They hated socialism.
But they try to play themselves as to being socialist.
Yeah, but they only did that to get people to vote for them. And as soon as they got into power,
That is the problem.
they offed all of those people. So
That created the way that people now assume, the idealistic way that people think of socialism is because of those things.
well, here's the problem. We had propaganda playing in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s saying communism and socialism were demonized together. And we all thought communism and socialism were the same thing. I even thought that when I was a kid.
And then
I didn't
we
know the
had
difference.
And then we had Ronald Reagan in there.
Yes.
playing
Republicans
all
are
of
liars about socialism. I agree. A lot of very successful democratic socialism like states and countries exist right now. Massachusetts, I believe, is highly socialistic state, and it does
And they
really
are.
well.
Yes,
Highest in
yes,
education, highest in
yes.
healthcare. I think they have a version of universal healthcare where if you can't afford healthcare, they give you healthcare in Massachusetts.
When you
So,
look at all of the things when it comes to Massachusetts, they have some of the highest numbers when it comes to the way that we look at, whether it be education or healthcare. They are in the highest ways that we measure, this country.
right. Someone's asking me in the comments, are you a socialist? So no, I'm not a socialist. I am not, I don't really know the answer to some of these questions. I'm definitely not a communist. I think any extreme is bad. I will always think any extreme is bad because it's just not a good way of living a life to go from one extreme to another extreme or be in the middle and then get an extreme. We're seeing an extreme right now with the regime in place. You see what extremes actually happen, right? So when you have a far right extremist organization in charge of our government, you get people, hold on, you get people being ripped out of houses without warrants. You get people walking through the streets, like offing other people. And the funny thing is, I think the right also thinks like protesting is crazy to them. They're like, wait a minute, you protest, you guys are the crazy ones out in the streets protesting. It's like, yeah, we're protesting a authoritarian government. Like, you should be out protesting with us.
It's
but
what they call the boomerang effect. When you go too far in one way, you end up being on the other side.
Yeah, but I don't think we went too far on one way. I mean, there was some things that were a little too crazy, but Obama being elected, I don't think is going too far. I think that's like an unbelievable progress of a unbelievable statesman and like just amazing politician and just amazing person. That should not have like been a ricochet effect of like going back in another direction. But somehow,
but real quick on that one though,
people are obsessed with Obama, bro. People are like, the right is obsessed with him.
The tan
Right.
suit.
But 1 second. What people don't realize is come presidency, the right said Obama was going to be what Trump is nowadays is what the right was saying Obama was going to be at that time. And so people don't realize this, but what I'm gonna tell you guys that black people are suffering the effects of having a black presidency. We're getting that hit. The rest of America don't see it per se, but we're getting the biggest hit on that. That's America's reaction to having a black president.
You are absolutely correct. Whenever Obama walked down in the tan suit, that was the worst thing, apparently, at that time that could have ever happened.
Hit on that. That's America.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not disagreeing. Like, it definitely didn't make things easier for anybody. I thought it was great. I mean, I thought he, like I said, I can't say how much I thought he was the best president of my lifetime. He just was. I wish we had him back. I wish we could have someone like him again. I don't care. Like, why are we with this? I don't know. Whatever. I don't know, man.
I think it's because of the old guard, Lucas, the establishment. They want on our side, right? They want I think that they're trying, and this is my perspective, they're trying to fight a different type of enemy with old tools and weapons, the norm that basically, and that's not working because Trump is using social media, he's using the memes, he's using all of the greatest the chat GPTs, you know what I'm saying? He's using all the tools that the old heads don't, no one take offense, but that's what we call it in the black community, the old heads that they're not using. And I think that in order to we need an Obama, but we need like a, how do you say? We need like a millennial minded, or not maybe not millennial, but I would say millennial because it's easier. A millennial minded Obama nowadays, like somebody that knows how to open up a PDF file, somebody that knows how to make a pivot table, somebody that knows how.
By the way, I love pivot. I love pivot tables, dude.
But I hope you get what I'm saying, though, right?
I do. Like, Microsoft Excel is my love language over here, dude.
I mean, in my opinion, we need Obama. Like, I don't think that there is anybody right now that we have, in the political atmosphere that can relate to people in the way that he did.
What about James Tallarico?
That's rough. I mean, he's Texas.
He's pretty great. I gotta give you credit there. I think James Tallarico, I liked him. I like what he says. I like how he puts these Christian nationalists in his place. I think he's a very intelligent.
I also think that right now, he is kind of going up against Jasmine Crockett. I think that there is a lot of issues, when it comes to that. Jasmine Crockett has a lot of people that are supporting her. She has a lot of, issues that she is supporting, things that she is going against, ways that she is fighting for Americans and Black Americans and people in the ways that, James Tallarico may not necessarily be doing that as. He is, he is a Christian. He is a Christian man. And so there are some ways to where he can, relate to some of these evangelical people. To me, it's tough.
Is
It's
Jasmine
really
Crockett still
hard.
running? I thought she was out now, or she's out for the next election, I
I think
believe.
I think
'Cause
that
he won.
he actually has pushed her out.
Yeah, he won
She
the
Yeah,
competed
she's
for
out.
him.
he won
No,
the he
yeah,
won the primary, right? Yeah. So, I mean,
yeah.
here's the deal. Like right now, of course I like Jasmine Crockett. Like who wouldn't like her? She's awesome too. I was talking about more like he is kind of. It's almost like going undercover. Like he's like our undercover dude. So like he speaks
Yeah,
these
but
guys'
can we
language.
also discuss the fact that when it came down to it being James Tallarico and Jasmine Crockett, how he was able to push her out, where she was the, Black woman who was fighting against, white supremacy, and she was able to be easily pushed out in Texas.
Well, I mean, you're talking about Texas. It's like saying, hey, can you believe that this person was pushed out in Alabama? I'm like, yeah, I totally believe that. Cause it's like, it is a super racist state. Sorry to say,
Right.
but
I
I hope
I
we
have a
all
hot
knew that
take for
already, right? It's like, it's
I
the
have a
worst.
hot take for you guys, but I feel like Tallarico wasn't the person for that Senate position. I feel that not feel, but my perception of what has transpired over Jasmine Crockett's tenure and how her campaign, how she ran, she was out there putting foot to asses. Excuse my language,
She
but
was.
you know what I'm saying? She was. And so he was in the race. I'm not going to take that away. However, with that being said, she's far more qualified to run, but I feel like that, I don't like saying I feel. My position is that people voted for Tallarico because of white comfort and white supremacy. That's I'm gonna just put it out there. That's what it boils down to. And because I just think that he's going to be one of these senators that come in and he's gonna make a little bit of waves, say a little bit of performative things, but not put as much push as much legislation as Jasmine Crockett would, and how she holds other elected officials accountable, and she says what needs to be heard, not necessarily what makes people comfortable.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
But
No, I
that's the
agree.
problem.
I agree.
That's the
I
problem.
agree
We're
with
not
that.
ready for that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but as a country, we're not ready for that. And that's why she won't people like her, who I think she's incredible. And I honestly, I'd love to see her as president one day. But we're never going to get there the way that we are as a country, and the way that the beliefs that people have. It's true. It's a white supremacist patriarchal country. And yes, some of this is toppling now. And I think it all has to come down. And I don't know how long that's going to take.
Yeah. I mean, we got to start somewhere though, right? So it can't all happen at once. We can't have like everything collapse on us, because I promise you that will be bad.
So, I mean, what do we do? Like, we tried, when it comes down to having Kamala Harris, be
Well,
vice
let me hold on.
What do we do at this point?
We
could not elect somebody like, ALC or, Jasmine Crockett. Like, we could not have them to be in these, we couldn't even elect Bernie Sanders. Like, what do? We cannot, we cannot sit back and, we cannot afford to vote for people, who are only there. I can't think of her name. The person that was only there for the presidency, and then she disappeared again.
Yeah.
I can't think of her name right now, but we cannot sit back and just vote for people who are not there. We have to support candidates who are there at all times, who are going to stand there and be there for us throughout everything and not just disappear.
Yeah, I agree. So again, I don't know who the next president's going to be.
Yes, it was
Jill Stein is like, no offense, I'm not a big fan of Jill Stein. All she did
Me
was,
either. I'm saying
she
only
took votes away
appears
from
at the
people in
time
like
when it comes to run for
prime times we
president.
needed them. Like
She
Jill
only
Stein,
appears when
third
it's
party
time to run for
candidates,
president
third party
to
candidates,
steal votes.
yeah, third party candidates are only good if they have the support of a lot of people. If they take like 1 to 2% away, or even 5% away of the voting base, I think that's really not good. I think that
But
actually takes away
exactly.
people.
And if you look at the election that we just had, Trump did get, unfortunately, he got the majority of votes for
Yeah, I think we all know that.
But
Yeah.
if you look and you count up the votes for other parties, and for Democrats and for Jill Stein and everybody else, he did not get the majority.
Okay. So
Lucas.
yeah,
Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
People like Jill Stein, and I'm sorry. I feel like Jill Stein is somebody because, like I said, she only appears, and she did not just do it this past election. She did it the election before. She only appears when it's time to run for president.
I know.
And then
That's the
once
problem
the
with people like
election-
her. I agree. Yep.
Right. So once the election is over, she disappears.
Yep.
So in
I
my
don't hear
mind,
anything
that's
from her.
only
I don't
just
hear.
with the vote.
I don't see anything anywhere. I agree. Go ahead, really, Rosie.
Yeah, thank you. So my question is, and maybe you have addressed this in one of your TikToks, and I apologize if you have. What is it, 77 million people who did not vote?
There's a lot of people.
which,
Yeah.
which irritates me beyond belief every day. I'd love to understand the mindset of the people who refuse to participate in our democratic system. What is it? What is it that stops people from taking part in their inherent right?
Apathy. Right. So at the end of the day, they don't think their vote matters. Doesn't matter at all. And we make it really hard as a nation to vote. We don't make it easy. And we demonize people like for mail-in votes. We can't give the day off as a national holiday. Even when I was a kid, I remember saying this to my parents. I was like, why can't we just have the day off so everybody can just go and vote? And they gave me some weird answer. And I never had the answer. It's because they don't want you to vote in certain cases. They want to have the least amount of people turn out. They want the right type to turn out. In theory, it's like picking a jury, right? Especially Republicans are picking juries. They want to, that's what gerrymandering is, picking juries, right? You're picking the people who you want to vote or be on your jury. And that is what they're trying to do. They don't want you to vote. So they're trying to prevent it. And then everybody tells you your vote doesn't count. And when you live in a blue state, many times, if the blue state's going to go blue, you don't, in a way, people think that their vote doesn't matter, right? So they're like, hey, it's been a blue state. It's been a blue state my whole life. It's always going to be a blue state, which it is. Many blue states are going to stay blue forever. Massachusetts and California are never going to be red states unless there was like a person, like a Ronald Reagan back in the day or something like that, who was basically a Democrat now. He was very, I would say he would never be a Republican today. He was more of like a very centrist, left-leaning guy. Although he was probably a little right-leaning, right? Let's be honest. But today he would be considered a radical left, like Democrat, because of a lot of his policy. Although he did a lot of bad policies, of course. I don't know enough, guys. I have to be straight up. I am not an expert in politics. I just am not. I've hated politics my whole life, try to stay away from it because it didn't really affect the people I knew and any of the people I basically loved. And then I snapped out of it in like the 2000s. And I was like, wait a minute, all this stuff does affect this. My friends are going to war right now in another country because of politics. I'm like, this is not cool.
And my county, not even just my county, but my city was split in two based on packing and cracking. My state and my city was literally gerrymandered in two. And it was based on, it was based on where the, black majority of people live. that's the way that they do things in Tennessee and in states like Tennessee. And at this
Puerto
point, I
Rico,
don't
because
know
of like,
how to fight against that. Like, literally, I could tell you right now where I live, like my house, if I could tell you the map, and 200 yards from my house is where the map changes based on the way of where people live and where in my town where the black community, the majority of them live, the way that they have been redlined and the way, where they live. And I don't know what to do. I have Chris Hurt is my representative in Tennessee, and I've talked to him on the phone. I've had conversation with him on the phone, and I don't know how to fight it. I don't know what else I can do.
You're doing what you can do. That's all you can do. You can't. I mean, there's certain things you have the ability to do. You can't change like who people are gonna completely vote for. You can't do it on
But
your
it's
own.
it,
You can't
it's
have
not
the
it's
weight of
not
the
enough
weight of your area on your shoulders unless maybe you should run. Why don't you run?
because I don't have the ability to be able to talk to the public like that.
You're talking to
It's
them right
not.
now. You're talking to the public right now.
I think it all comes down to how much you believe that you can affect personal change, right? And so if you have the confidence to do that, I mean, what you're doing right now is you're educating people who are on Lucas's platform, correct?
Mhm.
And that is important. It is important. Now, there are obviously people who lack all kinds of, I mean, Lucas has spoken about this. I mean, they're never going to change. They're not going to, fundamentally, they will not change. And so instead of making it a mission to change them, make it your mission to educate as many people as you can in whatever way that you can, because that is probably the only method that we have to this madness.
Yep, education. That's really the reason why I turned to like educating is because
Yeah,
of
I
that.
agree, and that's what I think that I said whenever I first come into this conversation is, I have tried to put out the education and stuff. I think that people that are so, engrossed in, the way they feel about MAGA and, the way they feel about Christian nationalism is they are so pushed off to fear. It's only fear. They want to be they want an authoritarian. They want somebody like Trump. They want that's what they want. And I don't know how to change that. I don't know that I can.
Well,
I
it's
think
about
that it is
control.
changing.
It's about
I
control
think it
too.
is changing right now. I think that the amount of people who support MAGA actively are going down
I agree.
exponentially because of the economy specifically. And then also, if you look at all the special elections, we've won every single special election with the exception of Tennessee. And we lost that by an infinitesimal margin. So if you look at how far we've moved the electorate to the progressive side, to the Democratic side, it's pretty significant.
Yeah. Oh no, I get that, and I'm not arguing like against you. I'm saying like, do you see like what Tennessee is trying to do to fight this every day? They are trying to do everything they can to make sure that we are not able to fight against
For
anything else.
sure. For sure.
Yeah, I
Like
don't know. I don't
Tennessee
know
is
enough about
Tennessee.
Tennessee. So we don't know. So you're very familiar with Tennessee because you live there and you're like there every
Yes.
day and you understand the pain and the feeling and stuff like that. But
Well,
don't.
it's not just that. It's that Tennessee is passing. We are passing state laws that are going against constitutional laws.
Yeah.
Tennessee is one. We are right now. The probably the in my opinion, it is the main state that is passing laws that are going to the governor's desk that we are trying to make sure that what we are doing is going to go to the Supreme Court. Like it's not Florida anymore. It's not Oklahoma anymore. It is Tennessee. What is happening in Tennessee is what is going to go to the Supreme Court. We are trying to fight against whether or not it be can we Tennessee literally just passed a law to where they're saying that that teachers in Tennessee schools can no longer be allowed to be called by their preferred names.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that whole
Some.
trans stuff.
It's.
yeah,
Yes.
Lucas.
Yeah.
In Tennessee.
So.
Like MX is no longer allowed. It's only going to be MR or MS based on what your assigned, birth was. Like
Now, is that the
Tennessee,
House or the Senate, Jess?
it actually just passed. If you look, because I literally just looked it up today, it just passed through both, and it just needs to be signed by the governor. And we've got Bill Lee, and so it's gonna pass. So it's gonna go into effect June 1st.
That's good. So,
Yeah.
okay.
It's not good. It's not good.
No, I know it's not good, but you have to actually, if you want to make a difference and you don't want to, again, there's only a few things you could do where you live. And like the best you could do is make a lot of noise. And if you want to, I mean, there's going to be some people that aren't going to be too happy with you making so much noise though, too. Don't forget. So, I mean, if there's a way, which I know it's going to be hard for me to even say it, but like moving is an option.
I'm not. No, it's not. Moving is. I'm sorry. I was born and raised here. Moving is not an option. I'm not going to go somewhere else and just sit back and be. I mean, if I moved, yes, I would move there and be happy. I'm not going to. This is my home, and I'm not going to see it.
I got you. I got you. Well, then you feel it sounds like you feel very passionate about it. So you can run for office. Like it means, I mean, I started making videos because I felt it was my duty. I honestly didn't want to. Like, I didn't want to talk about politics specifically even, but I felt like I had to. So sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do, which is maybe you need to run for office or, it doesn't have to be like the high level office. It could be just for your local little area. I don't even know what what kind of offices they are there, but you should, I mean, hearing you talk about it sounds like you're pretty passionate about it. I don't see why you wouldn't give it a try. What's the worst case scenario?
Losing. I mean, but I want every single person in my county, in my state. We all have the rights to have, the same rights as everyone else. We only want to be able to be equal to able. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not fair.
It's not fair, but here's the thing: like, you got to do something about it, and this is the place to start. You've voiced your opinion about it, and now you actually have to voicing opinions is great, but at the end of the day, we all have to like take a little action, and the action is you have to do something now, right? It's not just like, all right, I said my piece out on TikTok and I'm done. You got to actually do something too, which means just talking to one other person and changing one other mind, or going somewhere and making a difference. And I know you probably work and all that stuff, and this is just, social media is kind of like a cop-out if you're not going to take action also on it.
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to center myself in this conversation, but if I had to look out, I would want to run. I would want.
Then you should do it. This is it.
No, that's what I'm asking is.
Jess is running for president.
I'm saying no, not
go, Jess.
No. But even for city council or whatever, I was like,
city council.
I'm not the best person.
I love it.
I'm not the best person. I have a past.
That's all right. You know what, dude? Are you kidding me? You have a past. Do you know who's president right now? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That is off the table. There's no past that's off the table anymore. Hello.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
But think about.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
Jess, think about this. Almost every decade, we have had some sort of, how do I say this? Whether it's a movement, whether it's someone like Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, people who have stood up and spoken out against the injustices, and we're able to precipitate change. The problem is we just haven't been able to. As far as I'm concerned, this country was founded on a lie, and I will die on that hill, and that we have been fighting an uphill battle ever since, right?
You're right.
And we're going to continue to do that. Although I do feel now, whatever is happening, that we have to have this breakdown, that everything has to come out in the woodwork for people who are apathetic, for people who don't know how to make change in the world, are going to be able to potentially step forward and do something. So I think you're one of those people. You just have to find your footing.
No, you said if freaking Donald Trump can be president, then why
Yeah,
can't I be
that's what I'm
something?
saying. All right, you're running. So the next time we talk, you're gonna tell me that you're like where to vote and all that stuff. Right?
No. I'll try. I don't know.
Everybody has to do their part. I think that's what it comes down to. And I can certainly circle back to what I said earlier about the 77 million. You said it's because of apathy, and that's a huge problem. You have people who are apathetic. You have people who lack an incredible amount of self-awareness, i.e., MAGA, because they can't look at themselves, right?
No introspection. Yeah. No inner
Right.
monologue. Yep.
Exactly. No introspection, no avenue for even understanding what empathy is or means or how it's important.
Critical thinking.
Well, that's the obvious one.
Yeah.
But I think, it's about people needing to feel good in some particular way. And so by being controlled and aligning themselves with like having the loudest voice in the room, right? Am I making sense right now? Like that's how they identify. That's how they self-identify. And that's their whole identity. So that's how I don't know.
actually don't think they have a loud voice. I actually think they just go along with whatever he says because he's transactional and they'll go along with whatever he says. And I don't think that they are that loud. I think actually they're cowards when you encounter them
They are.
one-on-one.
I can totally vouch for that part, by the way. They are
When you really
absolute.
look down into it, it's Christianity.
They are absolute
They are
cowardly, snowflake, weak people that want to stuff you into a locker as a bully, but when they meet 6'5" Lucas in real life, they're not too excited to stuff me into a locker because they're like, "Whoa, you're bigger than I thought you were." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm 220, 6'5", dude. Yeah, good luck
when
with
you
that."
really look into it, it's Christianity. It's they only.
I don't think Christianity teaches you to be.
Yes.
Doesn't teach you to be
It's
bully.
they only think
It doesn't
they
teach you to be
need ask
mean. It doesn't
forgiveness
teach you to
for
be
God.
awful.
They think, and this is honestly, Lucas, this was from a video that I saw from you. They think that they can do whatever they think they want to do, and then as long as they ask for forgiveness for God
Yeah.
the next day, whether it be Wednesday when they have church or
Yep.
Sunday,
Yep.
they think that as long as they ask for forgiveness for those days from God, then they can do whatever they say
Willful,
they
like
want to
I
do
didn't
on
even
the
know.
other
I didn't even know in the Bible. Like I'm a recovering Catholic, so I went to private Catholic school like my entire youth, like all the way up until I was like 16 years old. I went to more church than probably all you will ever do in your entire life because I went to church like 6 days a week, every single week for years and years and years. Yeah, well over a decade. And so I could tell you, I didn't even know, but willful ignorance is like a sin in the Bible. So if you're willfully ignorant and you say, "Hey, I'm going to go in like confession or whatever your religion allows you to like ask for forgiveness and it goes away," and then you are this horrible person afterwards, you can't use. I mean, people do all the time, obviously, but you shouldn't be using religion as a protective element. So hey Jenny, you're making a lot of noise. I'm gonna mute you for a minute.
So, I mean, it's exactly what you're saying. Like at this point, it's like, how can we look at people and say, you don't have enough food to eat? So we're going to say that you need food, but then we're going to deny you to have that food to eat because we don't think, based on whatever laws that we have, that you deserve that food.
Right.
What
weird.
do we do at that point?
Well,
that's not how they don't consciously think that way. That's not their thought process. That's what we think. They don't look at it that way. And in terms of Christianity, I mean, we can go way, way back. We can go look at the Romans and the Greeks and the Egyptians and, how gods were responsible for this and that and the other thing. And, so it's for a long time, I mean, for centuries, it's, God or gods have been given this ultimate power, right? And so people like to identify with that because I think, I don't know, this is my take on it. It might be a wild take. I'm an educator, so I study these things sometimes, but with the students that I work with. But I just feel like there's that element of like, well, if we align ourselves in this way, then we have a power that we wouldn't ordinarily have. And I honestly truly don't think that people who call themselves good Christians in the name of what they do, by hurting other people, I just don't think that they really, I don't think they even believe in God. I really don't.
They don't.
I think
You're
they just
right.
they subscribe to a theory. They subscribe to something that sounds like this is, I guess, redemption. I don't know. I don't even know if they believe in that.
I think they just believe in what Trump tells them to believe in.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's no doubt. There's no everybody like there's these people will sacrifice. They will always, people in general will always sacrifice critical thinking and having to make a decision for comfort. And that is the problem with human beings. So
I think at this point they are trying to get as many people to believe in God as possible.
it's not going to happen though.
They feel like that is what they are called to do. They are called to bring people to belief.
I get it, but at the end of the day, go ahead, Mr. DJ.
No, I'm gonna have to push back. I'm on Lucas's team on this one. I think it boils down to comfort. It really boils down. It boils down to comfort, because a lot of people will allow someone to sell them the old school snake oil.
Yep.
As long as they say the right things that align with their ideology and background, and humanize themselves and put themselves somewhat in their situation, or somewhat like make themselves relatable, if that makes sense.
Yep, exactly. It's true. So, dude, here's the thing. Like, people in general, and I can't just say it's conservatives, like everybody, we all want to be like comfortable. We all don't want to do the stuff we know we need to do many a time, right? But in this case, these folks don't want to think, don't want to make decisions. And I've met some of them and I couldn't believe it. Like, wait, you don't want to have any feedback? And they're just like, yeah, I don't really care. I'll just go along. Like, a lot of folks just want to go along with the show that's already going on. They don't want to have to think. And then when they're like 70 years old or 75 years old, they go, what happened to my life? I didn't think. I didn't do any of the things I wanted to do, because you outsourced your critical thinking and your thought process, and you wonder why you didn't do anything with what you're doing in life. And now you're miserably unhappy, trapped in a situation. You're, in your late 60s, early 70s, and you're like really unhappy. And you see all these younger people wanting change, wanting a better life. And you are using your lens from like the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, when things were a lot easier. Life was easier to get ahead. And they're going, how come these guys aren't the same? Sorry if I do the Southern accent, but it's just that's how I talk when I talk about MAGA. But it's like, how come these people aren't the same? How come these people have such a hard time? And I did the same thing. Why can't they do the same thing? Pull themselves up by the bootstraps. It's like, you can't. Hold on a sec, Jess. You can't pull yourself up by the bootstraps because a house used to cost $60,000. Now it costs $600,000. You can't. The cost of living has gone way up. And you can't even own homes or condos anymore, when before you could 20 years ago, 25 years ago, you could buy a home, buy a condo, buy something and actually own something. You didn't have all this like massive debt. Things were easier. And these people are using the lens of when they had to do all these hard things. It was harder. And it's like, it wasn't harder, actually. It was easier to get things back then, because your parents who fought in the Great War, World War II and all these things that like they produced you had a lot easier of a life, because we had just decimated our competition from making cars. We owned the car space because Japan and Germany were destroyed completely, and it took decades to rebuild them. And like all these things life was just easier for certain types of people in the 50s, the 60s, and 70s. Harder for other types of people. So these people use the lens.
White people.
They use the lens, though, of the 60s and 70s. Yeah, of course. The 60s and 70s, and go, how come you can't pull yourself up by the bootstraps? It's like, dude, it was $1 for the thing we are now paying $30 for, that you paid for. And you could easily make a living on what you make. So like most people can't make a living on this, and then also can't buy a home. Imagine that. Like you can't
mean,
buy a home
let,
right
let's
now.
let's be very
One
clear that
second,
things were
Jess.
easier at that time for a
Yeah,
white
Jess, hold
people.
on, Jess.
1 second. But Lucas, I'm frequently down in San Diego County, right?
Love
And
San
so
Diego.
I have coworkers that are buying homes now, and I just looked it up. The median home price in San Diego County, not the city,
Yep.
county, is over $1 million.
Yeah,
And
exactly. I was
I have
just going to say it's probably
couple
$1 million.
coworkers that just put a offer in for homes that are in the $900,000 range,
That's
and that's
crazy.
just like average homes. Just to add to what you're saying.
Yeah, man, it's crazy that the homes in the area I live, because I live in the LA area, when I got here, it was during the financial crisis, right before it happened. And these homes were spiking up, but literally just 2 years earlier, these places were in the low 100,000s, which sounds like a lot of money, but it was cheap for this location now. And now all the houses are $3-4 million. Like just to even get into the market, you have to pay $1.5 million for a house. Like imagine that. I'd have to move to Tennessee to get a house.
No, I'm sorry.
That's not happening. That's not happening, Jess. No matter how much I like you, I am not moving to Tennessee.
And please don't. Well, I mean, honestly, please.
Thanks a lot.
Your vote here.
And you're
But
kicked. I'm
when
sure.
it comes to the way that you're talking about how the housing crisis, the price of homes, it's not the same. It's not.
I don't know what that means, but it's crazy expensive. It's really hard to buy a home now. It's really hard to own a home. Maybe not in Tennessee, but it's very difficult.
No, it is here too.
Okay.
And I'm saying that only because yes, housing in California is high. Yes.
No, come on. The house I grew up in Connecticut was under $100,000 or something like that when my parents bought it. I don't know. It was like the 70s, I think.
What is it now though?
Over $1 million, of course. It's over $1 million. So like, think about that. Like, that's how bad it is. Like they bought a house under $100,000 that's now worth like probably millions now. So
I knew you were from Connecticut. I knew it. I said it earlier.
Yes. I'm not hiding it.
What you're saying is that the home that you grew up in Connecticut or wherever it was
Connecticut,
is a lot more now, but it's also a lot more now here.
I believe it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I believe you. I believe you.
Across the board.
But also, like, you have to look at, like, yes, Tennessee, when you look at Tennessee, like, people look at Tennessee and they think that like, this state is great. There is not any kind of
Doesn't sound great to me.
There's not any kind of state income taxes. There's not anything like that. But also, it's that when you look at the cost of living, when you look at what we actually have to pay, it equals out. It balances out. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know any of you guys, but I'm going to tell you what I do for a living. I am a chronic care manager for a practice nephrology.
For like kidneys, right? Yeah, kidneys. You said nephrologist, so
yes.
Kidneys, yeah.
And you know what I make? I make $17.45 an hour. That's it.
That's very
$17.45.
That's a very Tennessee wage right there.
Right. That's what I'm saying is what I make right now here in Tennessee. If I was to go out to California or Connecticut or Massachusetts or wherever,
you got to do it.
I would be making way up above.
You got to do it. That's your move. One of those states. I think that's your move.
It is if I could be remote, but it's what I'm doing right now. The job that I'm doing is based on where I live, what I do. We cannot sit here and look at what I'm making and then scan that out to somewhere like California, which Tennessee is. We are at the lowest in education, down there. We are at the lowest in how much people make. We are at the highest in, having people imprisoned, things are very different right here. And so what I'm doing is I am working my job. I'm doing what I need to do, but I can't sit here and have you guys compare.
I'm comparing all day. I'm going to compare all day.
Hey Lucas, the cheapest median home price in the cheapest county with the county with the cheapest median home price. Jesus, I cannot speak. In California is Lassen County. Just FYI, followed by it did like a kind of little. I did a quick Google search or AI search, whatever, but followed by like Riverside County is 600,000. Los Angeles County is 900,000. And then you have San Diego County, which is $1 million.
Yeah, it's
That's for the
crazy.
median.
But
Yeah.
what is, and this isn't me coming against you, what is your lowest based pay rate?
Probably the rate you said.
Well, I mean,
People can be
my
paid like
past,
$17, $20 an
no,
hour, something like that.
no. In Tennessee, we're going based on, what is it, $7 and
25
whatever,
cents.
the minimum wage, the national minimum wage,
$7.25.
Yeah, so
$7.25. Yeah.
I'm sure, I don't know what California's like. I honestly don't know what the minimum wage is. So
It's like, what, at least $15.
okay, well, I mean,
And that's not acceptable, but that's where
seems
we
like
come
$16.
into, yeah, that's where we come into, they try to relate those two things. They say that Tennessee is, people are making the minimum wage. There's not a national minimum wage right now that is at a high enough standard to where people can go towards their actual cost of living.
right? All right.
$7.25 is not the cost of living in Tennessee. And I'm sorry, I feel like if there is any one person in the world who is working 40 hours a week, they are working 40 hours a week, then they should at least be able to make enough money to where they are able to support themselves and their family, have health care, have a home.
Nope, that's crazy talk. You're talking crazy now. We have Republicans in the office. Like, dude, they don't think they think that's crazy.
How is somebody working 40 hours a week and making enough money to survive crazy?
I don't know. Tennessee, ask Tennessee's government.
Are you on the ballot yet, Jess?
I know. What the heck? Have you signed up yet?
Not
Like, Jess, I'm serious. Like, if I don't hear a change next time we talk, I'm gonna be really disappointed.
Can I have anybody at least like follow me to support me to like push me on to help me do this?
Yes, I will follow you. I have to unfollow. I'm following 10,000 people. I have to unfollow somebody.
Yeah, you
but
really did
I'll
follow a lot of people there, really, Rosie. That's a lot of people. I almost didn't follow you because I'm like, man, she's really Horatio's like way off. Like, what's going on here?
Am I wrong though? Like, am I wrong?
but
Like, should we not be able to, like, if you're working 40 hours a week?
Everybody knows you're right.
money.
Obvious questions, of course. Everybody should be able to.
but the country's
afford
always
that.
been imbalanced. Always.
Yeah.
I mean, I live in Fairfield County, Connecticut, which
Hey, Fairfield, what's up?
yeah, Fairfield County, one of the wealthiest counties in the country.
I know
right?
Fairfield well. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So, however, I'm not one of those people. I'm not one of those wealthy people. So
It's life, right?
I definitely don't live in $1 million home. I rent and whatever. But the thing is, the inequity has always been there all across the country. And so what you're asking, Jess, shouldn't be unreasonable, but it's a very tall order because in what way and how could we possibly make it economically viable for everyone in every corner of every state?
And the crazy thing is, I'm not asking for me. I live in a duplex with my 15-year-old daughter. Like, I'm not asking for.
So you're running for state senate, and it's really cool. I think you're gonna do good.
I just want.
This is your move. You got to do it. You don't have a choice. I'm holding you to it.
Someone said it's class warfare. That's true.
I want to try to take a stab at Rosie's question.
Okay.
And here's a couple ideas, and just hear me out. It's just a beginning, right? Just beginning, because this iceberg is deep. I would say we would need to implement universal health care and also some kind of legislation. I'm not a legislator. I'm just a guy on TikTok, but some kind of legislation to decouple healthcare from working, right? Because not everybody is able to have a job to get healthcare, right?
Right.
And then, so with that being said, I would say
You are Universal basic income. Yes.
I don't know about the universal basic income because that doesn't seem more realistic. But what seems more realistic is universal health care. But
Yes.
also, I would say raise the minimum wage to a living minimum wage. And I did Google it like about a year ago, and I think I found something online. So it was like it would have to be like $30-something, almost $40 an hour. But I could be wrong though. So give or take it with a grain of salt. And then I would also say that the CEO pay can't be
Right.
any more than 3 to 4 times what the lowest paid worker is.
But who's
That's just a start. I don't know.
but who, so here's the thing. I love this. But who's going to be the person that says, "Hey, Mr. CEO, you don't get to make any more than 3 or 4 times, what we think you should make." I mean, the problem is here, we have monopoly after monopoly. We have to topple the corporations, the people, the few that or whoever that have the power and the money. And it's the gap is growing wider by the second, as we know, because we have a bunch of grifters in office. Okay, all across the board.
United.
You can't make.
What?
So here's the problem though with what you're saying. Hold on.
Citizens United, which allowed
Hold on, Jess. Hold on.
corporations to be counted
You're,
as
you guys want these like. So here's the thing. Like I am all.
Citizens United.
Okay, so I am all for massive change. Obviously, I think we all are, but at the same time, you gotta understand like how people react to change, and you have to understand that these folks are not gonna be okay with like drastic.
Right.
These guys can't even deal with having a Barack Obama as president without literally still talking about Barack Obama more than a decade later. So like, you have to think small incremental changes over a certain amount of time to then get like a 50% change in what you want. And we have a hard time as humans, like getting changes to our cell phones. Okay. Like if something changes on our cell, what are you talking? This is crazy. Like we just lose our mind over stuff that we don't have any control over yet. We literally lose our minds. Like, and you're saying, oh, let's change all these things. I agree. I think universal health, basic, like the healthcare part is a critical one. I don't understand like why that's hard. It's not hard, right? But it will, I'm not saying this is, I'm not defending it, by the way. I'm just saying how many people work in healthcare companies right now
Me.
in the United States? I know, but think about how many people that work at like insurance companies in the United States right now. How many tens of thousands, if not over 100,000 people? I'm just wondering what that number looks like because I have a feeling 90% of those people would lose their jobs. I'm not saying they should have jobs in the first place in the healthcare. There should not be a for-profit thing. I agree. Or there's like other kind of coverage you can have because they have it in all these other countries too. Canada has private healthcare. England has private healthcare. Everybody has private healthcare on top of your socialized healthcare as well. And I think that would be a cool thing to have where you can buy incremental healthcare and there's the social healthcare option that everybody gets. And I think it's critical to have that. That is a good first step is like, let's have universal healthcare. Like that's like a win. And then we start making the other changes that we want, but we have to like pick one battle and attack it. Cause if we're like this, that's the results we're going to get. You see what I'm saying? Like,
I think the one battle that we have to go against is Citizens United.
Jess, seriously, here's the deal, Jess. I think you're awesome. This is my issue with you. You are dominating this conversation. I love it, right? I love that you are. You need to dominate like this in Tennessee where you live. You are a force to be reckoned with. And I am very disappointed that you're not already signed up for like a race right now for like congresswoman or not, do it. Like you said, assemblywoman, whatever it is, you need to do something. You have all this like energy and you're ready to go and you're smart and you have a very sharp opinion about these things. I don't know why you're not doing it. I don't know why you're not Googling it right now. Why are you wasting time on a TikTok with us? You should be like out, like going door to door right now, talking to people.
United. Literally,
shaking hands.
United was a 2010 decision where it decided that corporations were allowed to be in the same position as people. They were allowed to have corporations, super PACs. Like that's when it was actually allowed.
I know, but here's the problem. That's changed. So now we have to change back. You know how we can do that?
How has it changed?
You need Jess.
how's
You
it
need
changed?
you need to go out and you need to run for a local
No, how's it
office.
Wait,
changed?
how's it changed? I want to know too.
No, I want to
follow you.
know. Let's talk about Jess for a minute. Let's literally focus
Yeah.
on. I want to focus 100%
Citizens
on Jess.
United, how has it changed?
I wanna know
I don't know. I think I misspoke. I think I was just agreeing with you. Straight up, I think I just
It has.
was agreeing with you.
It hasn't changed.
Jess, we need to find out. So what part of the Tennessee you say you lived in? Let's look it up real quick. We'll do it for you.
I live in the extreme rural northwest part of Tennessee, but that's not the point.
Northwest
What we're pointing out is Citizens
Tennessee.
United. Super PACs.
Let's take a
There's
look.
a great documentary about that, by the way, called The Corporation. It's
Northwest
on YouTube.
Tennessee. So here it is.
About the takeover of Citizens United.
Dollywood?
Lucas,
Is
I love
Dollywood
you.
there?
I swear to God, I respect you, and I know that you are focusing on me right now. But what I'm saying, and I don't know.
There
who
it
she
is.
and I love you, but Citizens United is what we need to be focusing on.
Okay,
I
hold on a
agree.
second. Yeah.
It's
So-
allowing corporate PACs, corporate money, dark money to be allowed.
Well, we
into-
can't do anything about that. So
Actually,
no, we
they
can.
are running it on
Tiptonville.
the ballot in Michigan.
Troy, Union
They're
City.
trying to roll it
All
back,
right.
and they're doing a ballot initiative in Michigan.
So
for
you're
Citizens
on the
United.
border of like Missouri and Arkansas. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
No, you're not.
Kentucky?
This isn't me.
Oof.
That-
This makes me sad just looking at it. Okay. Yeah, this is a tough place to live. It's a tough place to live. You are in deep red country, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, I am in rural Northwest Tennessee.
I know, I'm looking at it.
but
Crazy.
No, we are talking about.
Let's talk
Citizens
about
United.
let's talk about Citizens United.
Citizens United.
Sure. Start it off, Jess. Kick it off.
Yeah. Citizens United was a Supreme Court case back in 2010 that allowed corporate money to be, it allowed corporations to be considered as actual people. So it allowed them to have First Amendment rights and to where they could put their money in as a corporation and to be allowed as an actual person. So that is what allowed super PACs.
Mm-hmm.
That is the problem that we have going on right now. That is what we have to where, we have these corporations like Walmart, like, wherever, like, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it, Israel, whoever, they are allowed to go in and add money and create legislation for our states and our country and make laws.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
So what do we do
Well, that's
about
what
it?
I was saying.
30
Actually,
seconds, 30
they're
seconds or
doing
less. What do we do about it?
I wanted to tell you they're doing a ballot initiative in Michigan to roll back Citizens United.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, way.
Good.
It's
That's
true.
really good news.
Yeah, I know.
Michigan, huh?
know-
In Michigan, who'd have thought Michigan?
I know.
This may seem like a dumb question, but why can't we just do write a federal law to cover all that stuff and block these types of things?
Because-
look, stupid question, but I don't know. I'm asking from I've heard of Citizens United, but I haven't looked up the nuance of it.
Me
so
neither, dude. That's what
forgive
I
me
was
for
like,
not
man,
knowing.
I don't know anything about
Right.
Citizens United. I am new to
What-
politics,
The
guys.
beginning and the end.
What
Who's
what
gonna
she
write the
said-
law?
I'm sorry. I think Jenny. I'm not sure what your name is. Tennessee actually we have a law to where we are not allowed to have ballot initiatives. The only way.
Wow, that's
Yes.
crazy.
Yes, and you can
That's
look it up.
messed up.
Yes,
I believe
ballot-
you.
Yes, ballot initiatives are not the law in Tennessee. The only way that things can come up for a vote is if our legislature puts them up for a vote. We cannot go out like I literally could not go out right now and have people sign anything. Like
Wow,
ballot initiatives are not, they are against the law in Tennessee.
that's
And
nuts.
there is a reason for that. They do not want people to be able to pass laws.
For
Like
sure.
literally, I swear to God, I don't know your name. I'm sorry, I don't. Look it up.
I
Ballot
believe you.
initiatives are not the law in Tennessee.
Well, it is being voted on in Michigan, so that is good because
Yeah.
that's how you start it.
In
Right?
Tennessee,
That's how
there
you
is
start
no,
guns.
we are not allowed to have ballot
Crazy.
initiatives, which means that we cannot sit out here and have petitions signed. We are not allowed to do that. The only way that anything can be,
Nuts.
yes, the only way that anything can be voted on in states like Tennessee is if our legislature puts them up for a vote. That's
Wow.
it.
Wow.
I could not, I could literally go out right now and have every person in my city, county, state, whatever sign. I could have every person, I could have 1 million signatures and nothing would change.
We need to get you elected to make the change. That's what it sounds like.
Right?
It's
No,
always going to go back
I'm
to that,
starting to think
Jess.
it's
It's always
true.
going
I
back to
think
that.
he's right. You know a
aside,
lot.
aside from that, like, do you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
there's
we
no
get
such
it.
thing as a ballot.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
can't vote on anything.
Well,
Terrible.
there's only one way to do. There's two choices then, right? You could either make a change yourself. Well, actually, three choices. Do nothing. Do nothing is number one, right? You can do nothing. You can go in and try to run and make make the change yourself. Or the third option is move.
No one would follow me.
Well,
because
I mean, that's what I said too when I started making videos. I'm like, no one's gonna like my videos, but I feel like it's my duty.
And I'm not moving. I'm sorry. I'm not moving. This is my state. This is where I
But
was born. This is where I grew up. No, I'm not moving.
here's
Hey,
here's
Jeff. Hey, Jeff.
oh, go
I
ahead,
heard
Health.
you,
Sorry.
I heard you say I can't. I think I can. I think I can.
Right?
Like the little
I think
good.
I think just what you have to do is stop thinking again. Stop thinking. It's hard to think. It's hard to stop thinking that I can't because it seems like you're going up an uphill. But with that being said, a lot of people. It comes back to comfort, right? It comes back to comfort, and
Yep.
you have to bring up the obvious and make people comfortable with, and it's how you use the words. You have to make people comfortable with putting the power back into, I guess, putting the pen. I guess I don't know. I'm bad with making
you're
up
right.
sayings, but putting the power back into the pen and putting the pen back into their own pocket. So I don't know how you want to phrase it to your local friends or family, but the word, yes, T. Cook's words matter, and how you phrase things will make people comfortable with that idea and that legislation that you're trying to push. Hope you get what I'm saying.
No, I do, and I think that. Are you saying that like I need to rephrase what I'm saying?
Yeah, rephrase it. I mean, and I don't know, I don't know people from Tennessee. I've never been out there, so all I'm trying to say is that you just gotta figure out how to how to tailor your message to making people feel
No,
comfortable with what you're trying to do, I guess.
and see, and that's why that is the problem. That I can't me like who I am.
Chat GPT.
Well,
No,
well,
I,
what
No.
I have.
aren't we saying this is like psychology of the masses?
Right. No, my
Right?
company pays for my chat GPT. I know. I literally have a degree in managing whether it be anything with chat GPT. I know how to do that. It's I the way that I am, who that I am. I cannot formate myself to try to make other people like feel comfortable with what I say. That's not who I am.
Yeah,
I
you
can't
can,
do
because
that.
Biden had a stutter, and he
I'm
was
not.
president.
Exactly.
Not
I'm
to be
not
ableist
Biden.
or anything.
I'm not a
No.
politician.
All right,
I'm
all
a
right. Well, then
person
here's the thing.
here.
It's good that you want to come up and talk about it. I get the comfortable feeling of like being around people who feel the same way as you. I totally get it. But I agree it's bad. But no one can change anything in Tennessee. So, I mean, you can't even, according to you. So, like, I get it. So, I feel you.
So yeah, Lucas, let's pivot a little bit. What say you about the California local elections? Where
You
you at
know,
on that?
Dude, I'm like totally new to all this stuff. That dude that got like ran out of office recently, what was his name? I can't remember now.
Swell or Swalwell?
Swalwell, that's it.
Yep.
So that dude, I was kind of like, oh, he'd be a good fit for that until all that crazy stuff happened. And then I'm like, shoot, there's a guy that has an Hispanic last name. I can't remember his name now, but I think he's the guy that I like. Say it again.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Becerra.
I think so.
And I'm sorry, I'm going to push back a little bit on this.
Wait a minute. What's going on right now,
I've looked at
Jess?
you, I've watched your videos. I've seen everything that you have to say about all of the way that, Democrats think and the way that our minds work. And so I see that what you're saying, about critical thinking and everything else. And so when we are sitting here right now thinking about, Democratic politicians and stuff, and you don't even know what we're talking about, and I'm sorry, I'm not being disrespectful, but it's a little bit like I don't know what to think when you don't even know what we're talking about.
Why would I know a politician where you live?
I know it's not me. I'm saying like I know who Eric Swalwell is. I know.
Yeah, because I didn't remember it. So here's what's interesting is that what you just said sounded very. I'm just going to let you know. Sounded very MAGA of you. Okay, I know you're not MAGA. I know you're not. Relax. I know you're not.
I said that.
But I'm letting you know. Hold on, Jess. Woo, doggy.
I know who Eric Swalwell is.
All right. We're gonna mute you. I'm gonna mute you because you cannot stop talking. So Jess, here's the deal. I didn't remember his name. I know it's a travesty that I don't remember some horrible person's last name. It's the end of the world. I get it. For you, it's the end of the world. For me, it's not. I just didn't remember his name off the top of my head. It is okay.
You called me MAGA because I didn't know his name.
Hey,
I knew his name.
Jess,
you didn't.
You need to chill. Okay. So this is not a world of black and white thinking, which is a MAGA way of thinking. Because I didn't know his name doesn't make me a bad person. And if you want to come up here and call me a bad person because I didn't remember somebody's name and make that a big deal and try to like take over the chat. Hey, Jess, you need to stop unmuting. You got to let me talk. I know it's difficult for you, but that is very MAGA of you again. Don't do that. If you don't want to be doing that, if you don't want to be called that, don't do that. Okay. It's an impulse control problem of some kind, and that's okay. But you have to understand this is my chat and I've let you talk a lot. You've been talking a lot. Okay. And that's totally okay. But you should not go after the person who's allowed you to talk a lot for literally hours now to then come after me because I didn't remember somebody's name. That is crazy. That is literally crazy. Okay, so just don't do that anymore. All right, Jess, you're allowed to talk now, but don't talk over people or on top of people or any of that stuff. And don't give people a hard time about someone forgetting a name. We have enough trouble as it is. What are you doing? Psychologically speaking, kind of petty. So let's move on. So yeah, I don't think Swalwell is my guy. Obviously, he's gone. I couldn't believe how quickly that happened. DJ,
and Lucas, I apologize.
That's okay. That's okay. Here's the thing. We all get petty way too quickly at each other about stupid things. This is a problem with democratic people in general. We all want to like hurt each other. And like, we wonder why we can't like coalesce like the far right guys do. Well, this is the problem. We get petty about stupid things, and
can I ask one thing?
We all fight stupidly. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Ask again. Make it quick though.
You can always talk. I mean, this is your life.
I know. Strangely enough, it is my life.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Please, God.
But I've been trying to, like I said, I'm allowing you to speak because I know you live in a tough spot and I want you to like get it out. And that's what this is for. And you just cannot, like when I give you like an inch, you cannot take a mile and like start giving me grief about like forgetting a name.
If I am, please let me know because I swear to God.
I did let you know. You saw how I did. I checked you. I'm not afraid to check you. Right? You can't try to, you're not going to like come in and like try to cancel me. I'm not Netflix over here, because I forgot somebody's name. So it's not going to work. It doesn't work that way.
I'm not.
He's already made it clear that politics are not his arena, and that is
100%.
Right. I mean, said that a
Right.
million times.
I literally
and
did,
and
yeah.
I'm not trying to be mean, but I think, it's self-regulation. You have a lot of valid points,
Yeah.
and you could absolutely influence people. And I think maybe this is what Mr. DJ, I don't know if I'm saying this
Yeah, you
right.
can just say DJ.
DJ, okay. I don't know if this is what DJ was saying, but it's the delivery, right? It's the way that you deliver your message, and that is how you influence people. And some
Yes.
of the best, uh, is the right word, orator, right?
Yes. She is a very good
Uh,
orator. Yes. Yep.
Right. So, but some of the best of those have the most incredible delivery, and that is how they influence people, right? Again, it all boils down to, I think I said earlier, psychology of the masses.
Yep.
This is what we have to think about all the time. How are people thinking? What are people feeling? How do people relate to what you say or what isn't said, right? And how do we, I hesitate to use the word manipulate because that's not right. But when we're looking to change people's minds about things, how do we manipulate that information so that it's more palatable,
Now,
right?
I want you guys to say, like, whatever I say in the way that it's coming off, I want you guys to say how it is coming off. But if it is, honestly, if it is coming off in any way that could even be remotely related to MAGA, then I need to stop and
It was
change
not
whatever I'm
MAGA.
doing.
Here's the deal. I was trying to make it, I'm trying to connect dots quickly when I communicate to people. And I
That's
wanted to
me
make
needing to
sure
stop. If
how
it's
you came
MAGA,
off
I need to stop right there.
it was an impulse control thing, right? And I'm like, and it's okay, Jess, that you do this. But again, there's certain things where there's certain ways of like interacting with people where there's like levels, right? And you're at this level where I wanted to make sure and connect the dots with you quickly because it definitely affected you. And that's what I wanted you to understand. I wanted to put some brakes on you quickly because you were getting a little out of control by like saying, oh, I don't remember his name. And I'm like, dude, you gotta relax with that stuff. So I want to make sure that when I communicate, I want to make it as short as possible for your understanding. It has nothing
No,
to
then
do with you
absolutely,
being
just
like MAGA.
absolutely cut me off. If I'm being in any way
Too many
or
drinks, Jess.
that would be
You're cut
MAGA,
off.
cut me off.
Well, yeah. For right now, back to DJ's question or whatever it is. Like I said, that's the guy who I think is best for governor myself. But I don't really know enough about him,
Sawyer
man.
Or not Sawyer. Becerra?
Yeah.
Was it Swalwell?
Not Swalwell. Not Swalwell, dude.
Oh my God.
Definitely not Swalwell.
Okay, so
Done deal.
it's Becerra.
Yes.
It's
I think
and
so.
a
I have
lot
to
of
look
people.
it up, dude.
Yeah, a lot of people have been kind of rallying behind him. I just, I, um,
I don't know enough
I'm
though.
leaning more
So
towards, yeah, but Sarah, I mean, he seems a little newer to me, in my opinion. But like, I've seen the mayhem that Katie Porter has wreaked in the house, and she, with her whiteboard, like that has a special place in my heart. Have you seen her with the whiteboard?
no.
Like, and so I was trying to get a feel for where you are on it. But I think
I'm going to be
a lot of
honest with you, man. I don't really follow. I'm one of those people that I am too more concerned with like our overall democracy. And I know that, I don't know how to explain this, but like local politics doesn't really, I was like starting to make content because of if it was just local stuff, I would never have made content, dude. I never would have made videos. But when you have like an existential threat in the White House and they're doing things that are, anti-democratic and antithetical to the Constitution, that's when I started making content. So for me, I don't know enough about like local politics. Like I don't know who's running, like who the players are. It's like following sports. And then all of a sudden the main guy gets knocked out from some like like I was convinced that guy was going to be the next governor. And then like he got run out of town. And I was just like, man, that was crazy. Like it happened so quickly. I just didn't know how to even catch up fast enough to like, okay, then who's really next? So I did a little bit of research, but I didn't do a lot. I was just like, man, This guy seems great. So like you're talking about, so I don't watch sports on TV. I think it's just a waste of time. That's my opinion, right? I've never been a person to watch sports. I just don't care. And someone would be like, oh, you're crazy. How do you not watch sports? Yeah, well, get over it. I don't watch sports. And I don't
I'm not a
really,
sports guy either, so I feel you.
yeah, exactly. And that's how I felt about politics my entire life, especially local politics. I've known people that have won local politics, and I'm like, oh, cool, man, you're the mayor of whatever, it's cool. But now I am taking a much more interest in the last, like you guys don't remember, I just started making videos in like February. It's April.
I just brought it up because it's like it's a little stressful to see like this many Democrats on the ballot and for running for primary, and you have 2 Republican, but it's like with this many people that's on the same ticket, it's like it's splitting the vote. So you have Bianco and Hilton that's running, and then you have all these other Democrats that's running. So, and I don't know how much you know about it, but the 2 people that get the highest votes basically takes they take primary. So it's just like it's a little stressful to see like damn like we got red in the House, red in the Senate.
Yeah.
Basically, SCOTUS is red, so it's like.
I hate it, dude.
Like,
I think California being red was a really bad idea. It's not like red doesn't mean what it used to mean. You get someone that's like conservative, that's like right leaning just a little bit. That's not what life is anymore. These aren't like conservatives. These are, everybody is MAGA now. There is no such thing as, and the people who are Republicans are now running as Democrats, and they're pretending to be Democrats. Like there's this like scam going on. I don't know if you guys have seen that in the California governor's race, but there are some people up in San Francisco that are running, and I think they're running for governor, and he is very much a Republican, but pretending to be a Democrat. So you don't know where some of these people stand because they switched, because like when do you know if someone actually switched parties, or they are just pretending to be this way, and then when they're in power, they get to do whatever they want. That's the thing about politics. That's the downside. But this is the downside about politics, is that you can now trick everybody. That's what it feels like, at least. Maybe I'm wrong, of course, which is something you'll never hear a person on the right say. Maybe I'm wrong. Is that these folks are running, and they know that, hey, we can just say this and just do this, and no one can do anything about it for however amount of time. We can then change the laws and make it not even illegal for what I'm doing in the state. So it's crazy that these people are doing this. And we don't want someone that's on the agenda of what's happening in the United States. In California is the state of like, let's be honest, California is the state everybody looks to and goes, this is where like everybody wants to be. If this turns red, then there's no hope. Like it feels like that California is like one of those states.
And that's why I want to circle back to the original question I asked when I came up here was, where do you think the Republican Party is going, under that context, because there's no more rhinos, right?
Yeah.
Is what they used to call them. They're
it's going away,
dude. It's
dude.
all MAGA.
Yeah, it's got to be rebranded. Republicans are.
Yeah, where do we go now? Not we, but
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. So I think MAGA, very much like what happened in Germany in the 1930s, that party came in to the Conservative Party, by the way, and gutted it from the inside out. And they changed that party as well. And they made all those people, they basically, in a way, all those people became those people, or they were out. So to me, I think the Republican Party is now forever tainted MAGA. Everybody's MAGA as far as, if you say you're conservative, even the word, and this is just my take, guys, so, take it with a grain of salt. I used to be forced religion on me like crazy. So Christianity is even being tainted right now. That word, if I see that word and someone goes, oh yeah, I'm a Christian, I instantly think Christian nationalist. I instantly think MAGA, and I'm almost instantly turned off. So these two things are destroying, like one is destroying the Republican Party / conservatives. One of them is destroying like religion in general. It's literally going to be either we become a Christian nationalist nation, like they want this like psychotic stuff, which is, I don't think is going to happen, or it's going to be so rejected. Like, I think this is just my opinion. I know that I am rejecting both very hard right now because I'm just like, I already wasn't a huge fan of religion, but I also was like, hey, do your own thing, guys. Like, if religion helps you, I think it's amazing, right? But now when you press religion onto other people, that's when I have a problem. When you try to force your belief on other people, when you try to force your ways, your thinking, your laws, which Roe versus Wade being repealed is like insanity. I never thought I would see that in my life. Things like this are they got their little wins. I think we're able to stop them now. I think they pulled the trigger too quickly and they did so many things. And I think mass media, even though we don't like, everybody hates mainstream media. I think that media showing us like what was going on in Minneapolis and things like that, like Minneapolis in a way saved or is saving still I think those images are stuck in my head forever. I feel like
So Lucas,
it's pushing back on like what we're doing. And I think it's kind of like saving America right now. Hopefully it stays that way. The thing is, we need to make sure we don't forget, even in the short amount of time we have right now, everybody's empathy is being drawn very thin. You're exhausted probably from watching the news and the crazy stuff that's happening. That's what they want.
I mean, I think that what I want to know, and I think that probably, other people here in this chat would also want to know as well, is where do you stand when it comes to Israel and, Palestine? Do we want a two-state solution, or like where do you stand?
I don't know. So here's the thing. I don't even know enough about that to have an answer for that. All I know is that Israel is acting right now in bad faith and doing horrible things. It just is, right? At the end of the day, they're doing horrible things. The world has agreed they're doing horrible things. It's definitely something that we should not be turning a blind eye to, yet the administration that's in power right now is turning a blind eye to it.
Do you think that what they are doing right now, like what Israel is doing right now when it comes to the West Bank and what they are doing right now, do you think that is okay?
No,
or do you think?
Of course not. Who in their right mind would think that's okay? Like,
well, I'm saying you're saying that you don't have enough information and you don't have an opinion
that's
right now.
no.
I'm
Well,
just trying to see where you
atrocities are
He did
never.
give an opinion.
I did.
He
I
gave
thought I
an
was pretty
opinion.
clear.
Yeah.
I thought I was pretty clear, but I guess I wasn't. Yeah, I'm gonna say that no atrocity or harming other people or like wars or any of that stuff is not okay. What's happening, what Israel is doing is not okay. 100% completely, I think, illegal. Everything, almost all this stuff. But again, I think the international law has even deemed it illegal. Like, I'm not like the only person calling it that. I actually go by the international law of like people saying that I don't even know if I can say, there's certain words you can't say on a live, guys. So I don't know what to say or not. So I'm not saying any of these words, but I feel pretty strongly about how bad it is. And I think I was pretty clear about that. So that's 2 times, Jess. That's 2 times now. 3rd strike and you're out. Okay. Because you called me out twice on things I didn't do wrong. You're the police. You're my crossing guard over here. You're the hall guard telling me not to run the hallway, and I ain't running. So
I just want to be clear.
Part of the other problem is all of the politicians who take APAC money, and that has been
yes,
that keeps becoming uncovered more and more. And it's important to know. I mean, there's a website, or I forget what it is, but you can actually look to see who those people are, who those politicians are. And thank you. I just didn't have that at my fingertips.
No worries.
And I recently, not that I have a big following, I'm right under 5K, but I recently made a TikTok about why people become politicians. And I mean, yes, as much as I love Obama too, I have to question, really, why do people do this? Why do people become politicians? What is their motivation? And unfortunately, some people stray so far from the intent that should be there. And I think this is why we're at where we're at. Again, it's power, it's greed, it's corruption. It's, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place.
No, it's good. It's good. You're good.
you know, I'm always trying to understand why people do the things that they do. And I have yet, you know, I feel this is what I feel is going to happen. And I feel like this is what happened with Swalwell. Although apparently there have been people there were people who knew that he's been doing this for a while. I don't know if that's true or not. But eventually, when we start to turn over this regime and other people that we think are good come into power, we're going to end up seeing that they're actually not, right? I feel like there's going to be this false faith in people that we like how we thought about Swalwell, right? I feel like there's going to be a lot of that because who are we going to be able to trust? Why are people taking these positions? Are they going to be our leaders? Can they get us out of this mess? Or are they going to turn out to be just as awful as what we have? I worry about this all the time.
I do too, a lot. Especially because I don't know if you guys saw that ad for AIPAC that the Democrats put out like last week,
No.
talking about how they were partners with Israel and all that. Yeah, Hakeem Jeffries and Schumer.
Oh,
Yep.
Jeffries is don't even get me started.
I know, but it was a whole ad saying
Guys,
how
I have to
Israel.
say, I have to say something too. I feel like there's a lot of, maybe I'm wrong, but there's a lot of like performative politics going on our
Yes.
side. Like especially
Absolutely.
Hakeem Jeffries. No offense, man. Like I don't know the guy very very well, but I watch. And there's no science to body language, guys. I'm sorry. Anybody that thinks there's like science to body language, I looked it up. Trust me, I tried. I was like, oh, I can read the body language. I looked it up. I was wrong. It's been condemned. It doesn't work. But from what I saw him do performatively, I am very disappointed in who we have in the Senate representing us right now. I feel like they could be doing so much more. They could be leading the way. They could be leaders right now. They could be leading a protest of some kind. They could be in the streets right now,
Yep.
you know, leading us. Like these people would be our heroes forever too at the end of the day. But, you know, I don't know. Is there a grand plan that I'm not aware of that all these people are just like biding their time to like act and become leaders? Like, or are we literally the only ones? Like, what are they doing? Like, what are these people doing? Like, performatively speaking on the House floor for 25 hours so they can make some TikTok events, like TikTok videos for it. You know, like, are they performatively doing these things to what benefit does it help us when they performatively do things like one time? Right. Or
I feel like
sorry, just
feel
feels
like
off.
like you were saying, the performative thing, what upset me, I don't know if it was him or Booker or one of them. They did like this overnight sit on the Capitol stairs.
Yes, I remember that well.
Yes.
That was one of those.
I was so pissed at that. Oh my God, I was so upset.
I'm glad you feel the same way. I was like, what? Are you kidding me? When I saw, so here, I'm going to give you my unvarnished opinion on the whole, like, also like, Cory Booker's it seems like he's a great dude, man. He's just genuinely a good dude. But man, when you do this, like speaking on the floor for like trying to break the Guinness Book of World Record or whatever he was trying to do, break some record. I think it was some like racist guy's record that he like stayed on the House floor or something, that's an amiable reason to do it for sure. But it was so performative. He was like getting TikTok moments and trying to become more famous or something. I don't know what he was trying to do, but it didn't feel like it was accomplishing anything. Let me just like sit on the House floor. A bunch of cameras was like taping him the whole time. And I was like, okay, what does this actually do for us though? Like, can you like get out in front of the Capitol and you say, hey, everybody show up at the Lincoln Memorial and we're going to march and like do something, get uncomfortable besides standing and talking for 25 hours, whatever that Guinness Book of World Record he beat. I don't know what it was.
Well, that's the thing. Nobody has a plan. If we had,
But it's so
somebody had a
easy.
plan.
Even I can make the plan. Jess has a plan.
right,
Even
let's go.
Jess has a plan. Jess can have a plan by tomorrow, right? If Jess can and I can have a plan and you can have a plan, really, Rosie,
Yes.
by tomorrow, like what are these cats doing? They're comfortable too.
No.
They are comfortable too. That's the problem. They want a political career. I don't know. There's some people that say right now that you should not be speaking out and your job is just to sustain yourself. I don't know if you guys are like big into like, you guys ever like looked into like stoicism at all?
A little bit.
Yeah, there's like this guy that's in like big into stoic. He's like the big like YouTuber stoic guy. And he says, your job is just to survive right now. It's not to do anything, but just survive. And it's like, bro, what? Like, you can't just survive. If everybody thought like you and you're just supposed to survive right now, nothing changes. Like, what are you talking about? Worst advice ever, bro. Like, who are you? How do you have 1 million subscribers? You're telling people to do nothing.
But what does that tell you, that there's 1 million subscribers? That's the sad part.
The
right?
sad part is literally your job is just to survive. The problem is, so here's the most interesting thing, and it's a little off topic, but on topic. He is taking this knowledge from Stoic philosophers, who, by the way, were all billionaires in their time too. None of them, like maybe 1 or 2 of them, were not billionaires, and but they made it up and got wealthy. All the Stoics from back in the day were adverse to not speaking up. Like a lot of them were offed because of their opinions, because they stood up to tyranny. And he is telling everybody to not do even what the Stoics did. It's like, dude, that is not the message we give right now. We have the power.
You guys know about the Tennessee Three?
The who?
The Tennessee Three.
It sounds familiar.
Year before last, it was Justin Jones, Justin Pearson, and it was a woman. I can't think of her name. The 2 Justins in the Tennessee legislature.
Oh, I definitely don't know who this is then. Yeah, no.
Look them up. I swear to God.
Tennessee is your life. Yeah, I get it. And the thing is, like, I don't pay attention to Tennessee.
Justin
I agree with
Jones
that.
and Justin Pearson. They tried to expel the 2 of them for standing up because
I do know this. That was Tennessee. Yes. Okay.
Yes, Justin Jones.
Why did I think that was Pennsylvania? They tried to expel people. I think they did that in Pennsylvania also.
Justin Jones and Justin Pearson in Tennessee, the 2 of them for so long, you're not able to say anything in Tennessee, especially, within our legislature, we have a supermajority. So when they come out and they try to speak out and do what they need to do for the people that they are representing, they get shut down. They don't even allow them to speak. The things that they are doing, I mean, they're using what we would call the Robert's Rules of Order. They are breaking laws.
Yeah, here it is. Pennsylvania. I can't believe, Jess, you didn't know. Jess, I can't believe you didn't know that they tried to expel people from Pennsylvania. How dare you?
I'm talking.
I can't believe you didn't know that. Just kidding, of course.
If you look at the Tennessee Three, that's literally all.
I looked it up. I looked it up, yeah.
The Tennessee Three, and you'll know what I'm talking about.
I did. I looked it up. You're right.
Justin Jones, Justin Pearson. Justin Jones is the representative for part of Nashville. Justin Pearson is the representative for Memphis. They are shutting them down. They are not even allowing them to speak. The 2 biggest cities in the state of Tennessee, they will not even allow them to speak.
Sometimes, although rarely, sometimes the federal government does have to get involved in things like that. This is exactly, I believe, what happened when segregation was happening, or anti-segregation was happening during, I think it was like the 50s or 60s, when they had to send like troops in to like escort people into schools because they weren't letting them in. The governor, I think it was wasn't it Governor Wallace?
I'm talking about now.
I know, but this is a very, very.
But he's drawing a parallel.
This is a parallel. We gotta think a little dynamically here, my friend. We gotta think just a little bit. So like this is a parallel situation where a government, sometimes a federal government who's on the side of the right, not as in right leaning, but as in the right and wrong, has to step in and say, hey, you can't do these things, fellas. Like, no, you're done, right? We're going to have to shut you down. And some of these things, they have to be shut down because you can never fix things. It's like having like laws after the Civil War that these states had. We federalized laws in order to stop stuff from states from, federal law always trumps state law, at the end of the day. So like, that's why we have federal laws. That's why we had Roe versus Wade. And that's why we legalized abortion and stuff like that, because there were states that were trying not to, which is what's going on right now. And yeah, I mean, we need to have federal laws that prevent states from doing crazy stuff. And if you don't want to live in a state like that for now, you gotta, I mean, it sounds like an awful thing, right? Move, right? It is an awful thing. I agree. But
no,
that is part of the escaping things, right? It is like, if our country turned into a horrible dictatorship, which is, there's a level of dictatorship going on right now.
I think you're misunderstanding me.
I think I am,
on
then.
the same side as Justin Jones and Justin Pearson.
Yeah, you don't want them removed, right?
No, I want. They need to stay in power.
Yeah, I'm following you. Yeah, I'm following you. I'm right on the same level as you.
Right.
The people who are trying to remove them need to be stopped, is what I'm saying. Get it?
Okay.
Yeah. So the laws have to be put in place federally so that these people can't play these little horsey games, in state level, trying to stop these people from speaking and stuff. Like, that's why you have federal laws. Sometimes you have to interdict because people are unreasonable in these states. That's what happens. And that's why we need federal laws, like on abortion. When abortion's legalized, that's a good thing. So
what I'm saying is, these are not representatives when it comes to, our state, our national. This is our local state representative.
Yeah, your state legislature. Yep, I'm following you.
Yes.
Jess, the only person that's not following you is you, it sounds like, because I'm following you.
No,
I'm right there with you, kiddo. Right there with you. We're on the same road. We're going the same direction. We're going the same speed, except for you're slowing down a little bit. You're slowing down a little bit. Got to catch up. Catch up.
I'm asking, what can we do to make them be able to have the voice? Because
federal law.
He's saying that and it's not going to happen, obviously,
No.
while Trump is president.
Never.
But the point is, if we had somebody else who was normal and functioning and didn't behave like a psychopath, this is where the federal government would step in, and some would consider it overreach, but it wouldn't be, in my mind, right? So where the federal government would step in and say, no, Tennessee, bad Tennessee, you can't do that, and slap them on the wrist and say, we're going to override you, and we're going to implement a law that says Justin and 75 other Justins can say what they need to say.
But now, where we have Trump in office, where we have the Republicans, where they are fighting for states' rights, that's not going to happen. What I'm saying is, right now, within the Tennessee state legislature, with Justin Jones, Justin Pearson, within what they are trying to do, they are not even allowed to speak.
Yeah, we heard you.
No, you haven't. I can't even finish a sentence.
Jess, you're letting me down. This is going to be 3 here in a second. Don't do it. Don't be the girl. Don't do it.
Can I please finish, please?
Yes, you can finish, but do not be that person right now, okay?
I promise I will not. I'm saying, like, right now, like, while our Tennessee House session is going on, and every time either one of them try to speak, they stop and shut them down. And whenever they say, like, whenever they go to Robert's Rules of Order, which is what they go for, the rules when it comes to how the House talks and, what they do, they shut them down. They will not even allow these people to speak. Like, they won't even allow either, whether it be Justin Jones or Justin Johnson, like, they won't even allow them to raise any kind of points. They won't even allow them to speak, period, at all whatsoever.
Yeah, I heard you. I think I heard you the first time. But yes, I get it. They're not allowed to do anything, speak or anything. They've locked them down. I got it. So the question is, what could be done? Nothing, until someone steps in and does something. So you guys, Jess, because you live there, have to help them out, figure out like, hey, what do we do to fix this? And it's to elect better people. And if you can't elect better people, then eventually you either move out of the state. This is just how this is your choices. This is just life. You either move out of the state or the federal government gets involved if it's happening like this, and they have to stop this. But it's not going to happen. Why? We have Republican-led government, federal government right now. It's like not even close to it. This is like the least of their worries. They want these people to be in control of that state. Like, I'm sure Trump loves the idea of not letting certain people speak. Like, I think he wants that. So I'm not surprised at all about that. And I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. But once, you know what I mean? Like once I think the regime is gone, I think especially the head of the regime, I think that will be, you know, at some point, you know, he's like really old, so I have no idea when that's going to be, obviously. But when Democrats become back into power, I think we'll see some massive changes. And I think, I don't know, once you see the turn of the tide, people start to go, oh man, and they start to jump off the ship. So.
I mean, I think right now, you know, from what you said and what everybody has said, I mean, I know you guys feel like I need to run for office, whatever. No, like, I think that I need to move.
Well, I mean, those are your options, right? It's either you get mad and talk about it like crazy, and that's a comforting thing, by the way. It makes me comfortable when we say stuff and we don't do anything. Everybody gets comfort from talking about the thing, but then like it's the action that has to follow up that actually will put you in a different level of like comfort. So you're like, oh, well, at least now I don't have to worry about that anymore. But until you take care of that thing, it's either you have to actually do something about it. And you're right. If there's some injustice happening, you have to somehow get involved. You don't have to like put your person at risk, of course, but you do have to somehow get involved. I would run for local office if I were you, if I could. But again, that's me. You seem to be very upset about this, and I'm very upset about even hearing about it. They are not even allowed to talk. They're not even allowed to say anything, or they get in trouble. I've never even heard of that before. So I don't know if that happens in other states. I don't know enough about local politics. Say again?
It happened in Montana too with that trans representative.
I did not know that.
She was censored and she couldn't talk. They made her be quiet instead of all the conversations and interactions with the Republicans. That happened.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was nuts.
That makes me feel bad. Like that's not good. I mean, I don't know. So what happened during that? Because who was president? Was that in 2025?
That was just about a year and a half ago. It was
during Biden though.
No. Wait,
oh, okay.
I'm wrong. It was earlier. It was during his first administration. That's right. Her name's Erin. She's a trans representative, one of the first ones. She's in Montana. Erin, I can't remember. And she was not even allowed in the room when they voted. They made her just sit outside on a bench.
Man.
It was ridiculous for like a month. Erin something.
Are you sure it's not Zoe Zephyr?
Yeah, Zoe. Erin is her partner. My bad. Yes.
Yeah, it's okay. Zoe Zephyr. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah. She was like silenced. Right. Yeah, and was like she wasn't allowed to do a lot of stuff here. Yeah.
That's right.
Sorry. No, that's okay, dude. Hey, you know what? You getting a name wrong here? It's okay with me. It's totally okay. I get names wrong every day, 100 times a day. You're not a bad person for getting a name wrong. No, Jessica.
I'm going to run for office in Tennessee, and when I don't win, I'm going to blame all of you.
Who cares if you don't win? Why would it matter?
When I don't win, I'm going to blame all of you.
Who cares if you win or you don't win? You should try at least. If I lost something, I wouldn't care. I would just be like, okay, I'm just going to, now I know how to do it better the next time.
That's right.
That's how you stay going.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Exactly.
Yep.
Right? Wayne Gretzky over here. I love it.
What you said, because I was thinking, I was like, I've got things in my past or whatever. And then Donald Trump, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. He's made it all clear.
Matter what I have in my past.
Crime is legal. I'm just joking.
Right.
So
Like
he literally has made it so that you could, it doesn't matter what you've done in your past. No one could ever use, I guess that's not true. Obviously, because Eric Swalwell, but everybody, like, as long as you don't have an Eric Swalwell thing in your past, like.
No, and I think that my biggest thing is that I am an atheist.
That's fine.
Christian is the biggest fear that I have.
That's okay. I think you should do it anyway. Try it out.
Yeah, I will.
I think you should do it. I'm already looking it up. You're
Well,
already.
just say
I've already signed you up.
Christian.
You're running. I already
Just
signed
say
you
you're
up.
Christian, and when you
Right,
win, just say psych.
Gotta lie and say you're Christian. 'cause that's
Right.
the only
Psych.
Isn't Caroline Levitt going out on maternity leave? Come on, aim high. Let's go.
Oh, you know what? Even better. Like, I want to talk about that for a second. She's using that to leave, but I think she got booted. I mean, that's my opinion.
I think that's possible.
She got booted, and I think this is her distancing herself from the administration because they know things are looking. Everybody's just like this. I don't know if you guys noticed, but like even Vance has kind of like disappeared from the scene. And
they're circling the wagon.
They know exactly what's going on. They know that this little cult.
Me can prosper.
They know this little cult is going to collapse here pretty soon. They know that they've seen the best days have already passed for them. And every Republican should know right now that they are done for the next 20 years. I think that's just my opinion. Maybe it's 10 years because we have very short memories, but I really hope Rosie, you're an educator. Make sure you educate everybody. Okay.
Well,
like that.
There's a limit to what I can do.
I know.
I was just going to say, actually, I forgot what I was going to say. So it was along the lines of what you were just talking about.
Should I pretend to be a Christian? Like no
yes.
weapon formed
Do
against me
whatever
shall
it
prosper?
takes to win.
Like, literally.
And then yank the rug out. That's what I definitely think you should do. Play by their rules.
At this point, that is what the right are doing. Like
I think you should do it. Whatever it takes to win, we got to get you in there, Jess.
Jess, I think we're kidding. I mean, I don't think we're saying that you literally need to lie. I think you need to do whatever you need to do. But the point is, and anyone who's jumping ship right now, this is what I was going to say, is I feel like because they don't want to end up in prison.
Yes.
It's every man for himself. And you know,
hold on, Jess. Hold on, Jess.
Where when they go low, we go to hell. Like, are we not at that point? Like, I mean, we know what needs to be done. We know where this country needs to be. That we know that we need to be fighting for humanity, for every person, for individuality, for, you know, every person to be who they are and fight for who they are. So are we not at the point to where maybe we need to fight the way that the right are? Like, should we not?
Absolutely.
Of course.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we
to some
definitely do.
extent
Civility has gone out the window a long time ago.
Yeah, if we're the only ones playing by the rules. Yeah, Jenny's right.
Right,
If we're
when they go low, we go to hell.
oh my God, I don't know about that one.
I agree.
I like it though. I like what you're saying, Jess. So I think yes, we can't play by rules if they don't play by rules. It's one of my videos basically says that is it says like if they're the only ones playing by the rules, we can't play by rules either. Time to be not playing by the rules either. Like there's no rules. It's just we win or we lose our humanity, our democracy in theory. So like we actually have to play by no rules.
Anything I ever do would never be against anybody in any individual way. It would only be for society. So if that means that, you know, not having the 10 Commandments in school, that's because according to the First Amendment, it should not happen. Like, I am going to fight for what we are meant to fight for. Like, so does that mean, like, should I pretend in some way?
I don't know. We can't give you advice on that. That's something you have to do on your own. We can just say that I'd love to see you as assembly person or something like that, where you actually can put this energy into of like, you know, what's right and what's wrong. You have a very good gauge on what's right and what's wrong and what needs to be done. And you need to do something about it and not just come on a TikTok and say, I hate Tennessee. because you already know your options, so you need to do it. And you have the strength, and you've been there your whole life. You know the people. You've got this. Even if you lose, who cares, dude? Just run again. Keep running until you win.
Lucas, when you say, and I get this, right? I completely understand that if all the rules are out the window, then we have to fight in whatever way we have to, whether it's underhanded or not. But here's the thing. Stuff like that always comes back to haunt you, right? And so what is
Yes.
the ethical, what is, this is the probably the strangest question ever. What is the most ethical, non-ethical way to fight back?
Well, I mean, if we look in history, kind of tells us like there are no rules in like love and war, right? So like let's be honest, like that's just true. We didn't protest the regime in Germany out of Germany. We didn't protest. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so like there are no real like rules, like when it comes to like being like a civilized humanity, like civilization that as we are, where we are obviously there are no rules. Let's play by the rules that they play by. Exactly. We're redistricting. We're doing it the right way. In Virginia, we did it the right way. We had a vote. In California, we did it the right way. We had a vote of the people if we wanted to redistrict. We played by those rules. We warned them. Then we said, okay, we're going to do it. That's how we win, is that we go, hey, look, you do this, we're going to do it. And then we actually hold that boundary. We do exactly what we did. And we keep doing that. We go, hey, if you're going to do this boundary, the boundaries are not made to threaten people. They are made to say, these are the actions I'm going to take if you break my boundary. Like they're actions for us. They're not actions for them. If they break our boundaries, we take action. We're doing it for us. And that's what happens psychologically also, right? If you have a boundary, it's not a boundary for your mom. Oh, if you do this or else. No, it's if you do this, I am going to do this. My action's going to be this because it benefits me to remove myself from this situation, right? And the same thing happens with anything in life, right? You put a boundary up and then you hold that boundary, regardless of what it is.
I feel like you're starting to sound like what is that one lady? Bad baby. They ain't gonna catch me. They ain't never gonna catch me. Catch me outside. How about that?
Oh man,
You know,
that one's crazy. That lady's crazy. I can't believe she's famous now.
Yeah, I think this is about as conservative as I will ever get. I think that politics, our politicians, and the people that's voting for them, we need to take it back to the old days to where they go outside and duke it out and call it a day. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta do that because
Did you hear that Trump wants to bring back, and I have to be
Yes.
careful what I say.
Yeah, don't say it. Don't say it.
Yep. But
Yeah.
that's exactly what you're saying. Not, I sort of like what you're saying, DJ.
Yeah,
I don't know. And like you said, we talked about this before, Lucas, and you brought a great point last time I was on your platform. Because I was asking you how did we get here, right? And the way you explained it was so eloquently said was that it was just little by little by little. You remember that conversation?
Yeah, of course. It's the same analogy I do with my cell phone. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, I try to pioneering cost of like building things, right? And you just make little tiny changes until you get there. That's what that's why the right actually is failing at what they're doing. They're trying to do not little by little. They're doing massive amounts of stuff at the same time, and nobody likes change. And it's exhausting, but also like jarring to us, which is why they're going to fail at it. And that's a good thing, right? But if you really want to make lasting change, you get people involved, like Jess is going to do in Tennessee, and then you slowly do little things that equate to this big thing later. It's the law of changing things like 1% at a time or like 0.5%. And all those percentages add up over a year. And you're like, oh my God, a massive change in my life. It's like, well, yeah, because you changed a little bit every day, but compounding works. So you got to make a change. That's why you can't change a cell phone more than 15% or they'll stop using the cell phones. Like people freak out and go, I don't even know how to use my cell phone anymore. pioneering cost is too expensive. And you guys would all lose your minds if we changed things massively, which is, by the way, look what happened. Like they tried to change things in Minneapolis and do some crazy, authoritarian, brutal, cruel, awful things. And you saw what happened. People were like, yeah, not in my town. And it was not okay. When you make massive changes like that, authoritarians think you're just going to sit back and do nothing. Yet we're the ones who made the difference there. You didn't see anybody on the right. They're all like, you should have complied. Like, what do you mean you should have complied, you wacko? I'm sorry. I get passionate about this stuff, but like when you see stuff like that happen, it's just really hard to, not think about, like, just imagine that, like 2 people lost their lives. Like, it's crazy to me. Like more than that actually, but like people were yanked out. Think about this. You're yanked out of your house. Your kids used as a lure to catch you. Like this is like insane stuff. And we were somehow like, I wouldn't say half of our country, but a good portion of our country was just like, you should have complied. You should just follow the rules. You should just do these things. And it's like, man, we're going down a path. We're still going down the path, guys. So it's not like we're better. So don't give up on this. Like, don't just like, oh, okay, we're not going to, things aren't going to happen. We're good now. No, don't you dare do that. We need to put our foot on the gas and make sure that we do not stop. We pay attention. We're always trying to do the best thing we can. We actually are empathetic to other people. We can't let them win. We can't let them go, oh, you're weak because you have empathy. It's like, yeah, I'm always going to have empathy. I'm actually going to have more empathy because you just said that. I'm actually going to treat people even better because you just said that, jerk. These people are not, there's a lot of bad people that follow MAGA. They pulled these people out of the woodwork. And I think this is just from my research, okay? So take it with a grain of salt. But I've done a lot of research on like narcissism, and I did not realize like there's this little tiny box, this little window where you can fit into this like narcissistic personality disorder. Very small window where you're like, if you do not fit all these categories, you are not MPD. So it's like there's like a percentage of like 1 to 5% of people fit into this category, this little box. But there are people, high narcissistic tendencies that only care about themselves. They just don't care about other people. They like to see people hurt. They are damaged people. They like to hurt other people. Like if you do better than them in life, by a little bit even, they want to just see you fail, the schadenfreude. And I can tell you, the percentage of those people is somewhere like 10 to 20% of, I think, this is just like I said, I am not a professional. I think it's like between 10 and 20% of the population have like high narcissistic traits. And if you think about how many people follow Trump, it's like 35 million people. And if you do the math, 10% kind of equals all the people with all the very high narcissistic traits that only care about themselves. And until something happens to them, they don't care. And I just can't relate to that. It's so hard for me to like relate. Like, wait, my neighbor just got yanked out, but at least it didn't happen to me. It's like, I just can't even imagine the ability to sit there and do nothing, say nothing. Anyway, that's my rant.
Passivity.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Hey, Lucas.
Yeah.
Have you ever looked up the way where when Ronald Reagan became governor of California, the way that he created the the way that colleges were no longer free?
I do know a little bit, not enough to like speak like in an authoritative way about that, but I do know what you're talking about, and you're right. I think that's another thing I think our government should allow to have happen. Many countries around the world have like free college and
Right.
universal health care.
And college in the United States used to be free.
Yep.
Until when Ronald Reagan became the governor of California, he was, and if you look back at it, Ronald Reagan was a racist man. And he created college pay tuition in the state of California while he was governor because he did not want black people to be able to go to college for free. So if you look it up,
I believe
and
you. That's
I can
crazy.
get sources if you want me to, I can give you them right now. He caused there to be for-profit universities in the state of California, and then when he was elected as president, he created that for the entire country. Ronald Reagan is the reason why we have student loans, why we have the reason that we need to have student loan forgiveness that, the Trump administration, whoever, has not allowed. It's all because of Ronald Reagan.
Yep. He's also the guy who removed the fairness doctrine from our media,
Yes.
which caused all the
Oh, yeah.
propaganda and all the anger and frustration by Newsmax, OAN, and like Fox News, which is the worst one. These guys are, the fairness doctrine is like something that I still feel to this day is like was such a mistake to remove.
Well, because they no longer require for news outlets or when you're
To have
watching
licenses
TV,
and stuff. Yeah,
news.
exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be unbiased.
Yep.
It doesn't have to present both sides. There can be places like Fox News, and if you look at Fox News, if you look at their website, it literally says that it's Fox Entertainment.
Yeah, I know.
It is not. There's no longer a regulation.
But people, the thing is, like the name, it comes up. People are so used to, they see it as a news agency because it says news.
Yeah.
It's a propaganda. That's the thing about propaganda. Like it actually does work with people who don't know. Like when you're not an educated enough person to know something, but also people like confirmation bias, right? If they already believe, if they don't feel special in their lives, and this is the thing I've also discovered a lot, not just by observation, but by study, is that a lot of people want to feel special and they want someone to tell them that they're special really badly. And when you do, you can take anything from them. They'll give you anything because they now get this like extra power of like, I am special. Like I said, I have a video. I wish I could show it to you guys. I was going to post it on Facebook because this guy came at me on Facebook, but I didn't know, like I said, it's my one and only reaction video I made. And it's basically got this guy just saying he's like some kind of like holy warrior. I just was so embarrassed for him, but I was just like, oh my God, this guy actually, and I just made a video 2 days earlier, a longer video. And it was talking about how these people I just studied it. I never saw it in the wild. Right. And then this guy was in the wild. I was like, whoa, this guy actually believes he's like some kind of like American warrior. He's like saying it like word for word. And I'm like, this is real. Like here it is in the wild right here. I mean, I get so many confirmations. Just look at my face. You guys got to look. If you haven't seen my Facebook, you got to go to my Facebook wall. Under one of my videos, you will love it.
Saying, but when you look at like right now, like we're having like people saying like "Make America Great Again," as in the past. So from what I can tell, from the people that I know in the area that I'm at, the Make America Great Again, the time that they're trying to go back to is like when Reagan was president. Like that's what they're looking at. But they do not have, like, they've got the cognitive dissonance. They do not have the critical thinking to where they can go back and look at what happened back then and go into the details. Like, they're seeing that, like, back then, their life was better. Maybe they were paying less taxes. Maybe they had more money to do the things they needed to do.
None of these people even know what that means. It's what that is being built there. When someone says make America or Germany or Czechoslovakia, it doesn't matter what it is, Canada, great again. They're creating what's called a mythic past. And mythic past is just part of what happened in Germany in the 1930s. Again, I don't know if I can say these words, but it's like the same thing. It's like one of the core tenets of fascism. I'll say it. There you go. Fascism. It's one of the core tenets of like an authoritarian fascist like government, is that it creates something that it doesn't have to be true. Actually, it doesn't need to be true at all, but they create a mythic time of when we were great. And then on top of that, you are descendants of these great people. You are the only Americans. You're fighting for freedom and democracy, yet they're the ones who are not fighting for freedom and democracy, and they're fighting
But they need an
for fascism.
authoritarian to lead them during that.
But there's a reason why, though, right? At the end of the day, they don't want things to change, and also they're used to someone telling them what to do.
Exactly.
They don't want to think critically. And because they don't want to think critically, they just outsource their critical thinking to comfort. And they like, oh, this big guy's got my, all right, great. I'm sorry if I do the whole Tennessee accent. I don't know what accent, Southern accent I think it is.
But they're not paying attention to the Supreme Court rulings.
Because they don't, so here's my thing. You expect people to be very well versed in this stuff, and they aren't even well versed on the alphabet. They don't even know how to spell things. And you're like, why don't they know about the Supreme Court? Dude, you're asking people to plan and know things, and they can't even plan for Friday night. And it's actually Friday night right now. They can't plan a year out in their lives. Yeah, dude, they don't know anything. Like, I don't even know. I'm a pretty educated person, right? I'd say I'm pretty smart, right? I'm going to give myself a little bit of credit. And I don't even know some of my local politicians and stuff like that. Like, just because I'm not a politician. I never wanted to be a politician. I don't want to deal with politics. And us humans are stupid. Like, we are all dumb. We don't care about things until it starts to affect loved ones or people we see. And like, again, we hate media, but at the same time, media and empathy go in a way hand in hand in a good way. Because we get to see actually what is really happening. In a way,
empathy has become the enemy.
I disagree.
I do want to push back a little bit though on this "Make America Great" idea. I don't think and it's not necessarily the "Make America Great" part. It's more of the going back to the Reagan. I've had plenty of conversations with MAGA and Republicans. I think that, and I've gotten a lot of answers from them about how far back they want to go. They're going back all the way to the 30s and 40s.
Who is?
Even before then.
Yeah, but here's the thing, like, none of these people were alive though.
Go
like,
back to trickle down economics, and you want to go back to, Calvin Coolidge.
Like, yeah, nothing was good back then. Like, a lot of people, I mean, this was the Great Depression kind of time period, but I know what you're talking about, DJ. Like, I know what you're talking about there, but the thing is, like, they don't really have, they're saying, if you hold them to a number, they'll say some random number. They don't really mean it. They don't know what number, because this was never meant to be a real time in the past. It's a fake time that you can just hearken back. That's why it triggers all of these boomers. Sorry, guys, if you guys are boomers, it is what it is. Get over it. Boomers are easily triggered like this because they have so much nostalgia because they are boomers. If you look at all these people on Facebook that like comment on all my stuff, all of them, there's not one that doesn't act like this and then have a profile picture of them in high school, or like right on their profile, like there they are in high school, they're fittest, I mean, and then you look at their profile, dig into it, every one of them you dig into and they're like 70, late 60s, clearly not living a quality life. Like they look like they've seen life, right? They've got a lot of miles, and they are hearkening back to their childhood and their teenage years, and they think and want to feel young again. I think there's so much to this that I haven't really even unpacked it myself. I'm kind of like, there's some kind of nostalgia feeling of saying "Make America" or "Make anything great again," and they hearken back to. It's an instantaneous like human reaction. They'll think back and like to better times. And we also romanticize things that were probably harder times, but we don't remember them as hard. We remember the good stuff about them.
What you're saying is like when you're a kid, you don't think about the economics.
I know, but when you're a teenager, that's what I'm saying. These guys are hearkening back to simpler times. They're becoming these like warriors for like a time that never existed. It's all fake, is what I'm saying. Like they're creating a nostalgia feeling in you, or them, not us, obviously, but a nostalgia feeling is being created in them so that they harken back to an earlier time that never existed, which is called a mythic past. That is
Their life
part
was happy.
of
It was simple. It was
fascism.
it's yeah.
It's a fascistic way of getting people to get on board with a mission that never existed in a past that never was. That's just part of the whole deal. So that's the problem. Like we are right now, currently, we are fighting against a fascistic government. I hate to say it. I go ahead.
Sorry.
No, please go ahead.
Sorry. I know you asked me earlier, I think some question about the fact that I'm an educator. And so I guess my question to you is, do you think that if we could fundamentally change the entire education system in this country, would that indeed make a difference?
Of course. Educated population is a population that's the kind of population you want. The ones that are uneducated are the ones that are easily controlled by fear because they don't know what's going on. They also don't. I think college, I think education, and not just basic education, but also like higher education after that, like having exposure to other nationalities and cultures are such a critical thing. But when you're not educated, you don't learn about other cultures and things because you have some of these people didn't even go to high school, right? Most of these people claimed like they didn't even finish high school or they got their GEDs, which basically means school. And I have to admit, when I was younger, I didn't really care as much about school. Like when I was a teenager, I probably didn't care as much as I should have about school. But college and graduate school, like it was awesome, right? And I think a lot of these people, think about it, the last time they got educated or learned how to learn something was like 50 or 60 years ago. Right. And they got like barely squeaked through high school. So there's not a lot of educated people. It's surprisingly uneducated. Like think about his base. Right. Trump's base is like what, 61, 62% high school education only. So
I don't disagree with you, and I'm only playing devil's advocate on this. Please. For a reason. So when you take the population who have the diagnoses of NPD or whatever else, right, or narcissists, no amount of education is going to change.
I'm hearing an echo.
Oh, sorry.
What's going on?
I don't know. Is it me?
Hold on. Let me mute you. I'm going to mute you for 1 second. How did the echo start?
I just want to go back and agree with what.
Do you guys hear an echo or not?
Yeah, Jenny and Jess has an echo.
You do too. We all echo. We're all echoing now.
Got echo.
It seemed to start after that last.
What happened?
That was the gift goal. It started after that audio.
Gosh darn it! I wonder what happened. Do you know? You know what? I think I can figure this out. I did it last time. I think Lisa helped me out last time.
I just want to say that if you look back at what Ronald Reagan said, he said we are in danger of producing an educated proletariat. That's dynamite. We have to be selective on who we allow to go through higher education. Ronald Reagan, when he was running for governor of California, he was trying to make sure that people were not able to get the higher education that they needed at the collegiate level in California. He literally said, we are in danger of producing an educated proletariat. He did not want an educated population of us normal people out here.
Neither does Trump. Neither does Trump. But now that I'm not echoing, I'd like to go back to my original.
Yes, please. Please go.
If that's okay. Which is essentially, if we look at the people who have these diagnoses or who are narcissists or whatever. So I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think any amount of education is going to change that for them. Right? And then also, how do we address people? And I hate to say this, but it is part of this. How do we address people who just generally have low IQ, low exposure to life itself? Because again, if we put facts and figures and numbers in front of them, is it indeed going to do something? And side note, having been in education for 33 years, I can tell you that you don't want to know what is going on in classrooms. You don't want to know. It's awful. Truly awful. I've never seen such a decline.
Well, we got to fix.
And
We have to
I don't
fix.
know.
That's the thing we have to fix is the education. If we fix education, we would not be in the situation we're in right now. I don't think.
You don't think so?
No, I think if we actually had people who were highly educated or at least cared about being educated, and you're a product of your environment, right? Like, let's be honest. There are lots of places in the United States right now that do not celebrate education. They make fun of it. They can't wait to get out of it and start working. And I've definitely seen people who were not doing well in like high school and were like, I can't wait to get out of here. I just want my GED so I can go to work. I'm like, you're not going to go to college? And there were in some communities I was around, hanging around with friends in, it was frowned upon to go to college, and you're just going to do what your dad does. You're just going to take over the family business, or you're going to do something, right? That's not, you don't need college for. And I'm like, but you want college, so you have options just in case you don't want to do that eventually. They're like,
Right.
no. So a lot of people don't even want to do that. And it's actually, you get bullied, you get picked on. There's like movies in the 80s and 90s that depicted people getting made fun of for wanting to go to college. Like, oh, there's a smart kid, let's beat him up. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's like tons of 80s movies and 90s movies with that
Yeah.
scene in it.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. I'm sure I've watched all of them. And we definitely don't prioritize education. But I also can tell you from just a quick experience that I had. I was substituting in a district in New Jersey a couple years ago. So this was pretty recent. And the so-called history curriculum was literally sent by the I don't know, the state.
Yeah.
And in slides. And we were told exactly what we had to teach. We could not teach anything that wasn't on those slides. And I can tell you which way those slides leaned politically. So definitely not in our end.
What can I ask a question without you giving me too much information?
Yep.
What part of the country are you in?
I'm in Connecticut right now.
Oh, okay. So you had like right-leaning slides you had to teach?
I was in New Jersey. So a few years ago.
Is New Jersey pretty red?
Parts.
Okay.
It depends where you go.
By the way, that's where that crazy dude that I was telling you was like a warrior, weird warrior guy. Like that's where he was from. I was just like, wait, New Jersey? Why is this crazy guy from New Jersey? Yeah. He was in New Jersey.
Do you know where in Jersey?
I could go back. I saved his profile just because like you can't just make a video. If I see a video where you're like openly saying things like you're going to go and do something, right? Crazy. I'm like saving your stuff just in case, because I'm like, he's like, in a way he was, I don't know. I'll show you the video, but I don't know if it's, I don't know what he said was, if it was illegal or not. I don't really know, but it sounded like, I don't know. It's on YouTube. If you guys want to go look at it, there's a YouTube video. I'll send you guys a link in the chat. I don't know. I didn't want to post it on TikTok because it was like, I don't know what.
It would probably get removed.
Yeah.
I just want to say my farewells real quick. Thanks for having me up, man.
It's always a pleasure.
Never a chore. Next time you go live, can you please send me the live so I can?
Heck yeah. Sorry about it. I didn't even think I was going to go live, and I did not think I'd be on for 3 hours and 45 minutes right now. So yeah, I gotta.
DJ, thank you.
I'm not good.
DJ, you're awesome.
DJ, you are awesome, man.
Thank you.
DJ, I'll follow you back.
Likewise. And you guys have a great one. I'm about to go get some dinner. I'm hungry.
Right, dude? I'm starving. Exactly.
Yeah.
I forgot to eat lunch.
And hey, Rosie, I just followed you. We actually have, where I live, we have one county over. A substitute teacher was just arrested for abusing third graders.
Yikes. Oh, don't say that on the live. Don't say that on the live.
Well, and they fired the actual teacher for speaking out against it. They were trying to tell her to say that the county schools were great and there was nothing bad going on. I mean, it's starting to get a little bit of news right now. I followed you, and I would love to hear your opinion on it because I think that this might end up going national. Like it's really bad. She abused several third graders in the hallways. She was arrested, and the school has tried to cover it up.
Jess, I hate to tell you this. This may shock you. This kind of thing has been going on for decades. Decades.
Wow.
And it's not just in public schools. If you look back, I'm trying to remember, it was a series of, was it private boarding schools? Please don't quote me on this because I don't have as much information as I should.
I'm totally quoting you on this.
That's not okay. I don't give you permission.
Just kidding.
You have to have a permission slip.
Just
okay?
kidding, yes.
But unfortunately, it is becoming more of the norm. And I will share this. There was a charter school, I'll just say in New Jersey, totally different school than the one that I was mentioning earlier, that I started teaching at for a couple months. And there was a math teacher who was put on administrative leave. I have to figure out a way to say this so you don't get
Don't do it. Don't do it.
You're live. But yeah, but the kids caught him on his computer watching something that he shouldn't have been watching. Let's put it that way. Okay.
Yep.
And then some of the girls came forward and said that he was, doing inappropriate things like their shoulders, like touching their shoulders, whatever, on and on. Fine. So they put him out on leave. 3 weeks later, they brought him back. And they said they found no instance. And I'm going to tell you, there were 4 teachers who quit because of this.
You know what that sounds like to me? It sounds like the Catholic scandal that happened in the archdiocese in like Boston.
Yes.
It sounds like that, doesn't it? It sounds like they move them around, or they just like suspend them for a little while, then bring them back and stuff. Like that's not good. I wonder if I've never heard of that in an educational system before.
If what?
I've never heard of that in the educational facility before. Wait, who's talking?
Really?
Yeah.
Because it also just happened in Connecticut. I'd have to find the article and say.
I've heard of like that, but I've never heard of anybody covering for people. You know what I mean? Where they just suspend them and bring them back. Like that's that's unheard of to me. Usually they're like it's criminal stuff, right? And they get arrested and all that. So. And
something similar just happened in upstate Connecticut, and because I want to say it was New Haven, but I could be wrong. Because the parents protested so loudly, they were going to reinstate this teacher. And they put out notice that they were reinstating. This is, again, a different situation, but he had been accused of similar things. And the parents protested to the point where the school reversed their decision and said, okay, no, we're going to let him go.
Really?
Yeah.
That's insane to me.
Yeah. It's wild what goes on. It's literally wild. And these kids are learning nothing. I can promise you that they're learning nothing.
That makes me sad.
Yes. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I've never heard it. Go ahead, Jess.
Graders, and they were literally they're on video being physically abused. This teacher, she was.
Hey, you gotta watch what you say there, Jess.
Yeah.
You're very careful because you're gonna get my things banned.
This teacher was, she was put in cuffs and whatever, and they're trying to say that the actual teacher, this was a substitute teacher that did that, but the actual teacher was let go because she was told about it and she was reported for telling about it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's all over, right now, our local news. It's going to go, I feel like it's going to go probably national. I hope it does, because it should, because she was actually let go because she reported it.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up afterwards. I'm gonna see that. I'm sure you're right. I just don't know about it.
The school district is Dresden.
Okay.
Weakley County, Tennessee is the school district.
Yeah. Weakley, huh?
Weakley, yeah. Weakley County.
I have to say, at this point, nothing surprises me. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if I woke up to an alien in my yard tomorrow morning. So at this point, I don't know.
The biggest problem is that they told her not to say anything, and they told her to say that the school scores were great and it's the best school that she's ever worked for. Like they told her not to speak out.
I'm not letting anybody back up as I'm closing this stream down here in a minute. So just stop asking to come up. I've been doing this for almost 4 hours now. I gotta
Lucas.
I gotta eat. I'm not saying it's not poor me. I think you guys are amazing. Like I wish I could talk to you for like 8 hours, but I have to admit I should have done this after I have to still make some videos tonight. And it's yeah. And I've been up since like 6.
Well, I'm still intimidated by even being in the same room as you.
What?
I'm gonna say that.
You have not been intimidated for 1 second, Jess. Don't you dare say that to me.
No.
You have not been intimidated for a second.
Thank you for having me.
It's been my pleasure.
You go eat dinner, make your videos, and do whatever you need to do. So thank you.
Thanks for coming up, Rosie. You're awesome. I think I followed you back because I did look at your follower count. It was really big. You should really stop following so many people. You know what I mean?
I don't know if you know who. Never mind. I'll share one of his videos with you.
DM me. We can DM now. We're buddies now.
Okay.
We're buddies.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
All right, see ya. Jess.
Bye, Lucas. Thank you.
It's such a pleasure. Such a pleasure. Jess, it has been amazing. You are really, and of course, I'm going to talk to you in a second, Health. You're awesome. But Jess, you are amazing, okay? You're a really good person. I want you to come back the next time I go live, all right? And you know, like you held your ground up here. You did good. So I think you need to really, I'm serious about this. I'm going to hold you a little accountable right now. I want you to get involved in some way in your area because I think you can.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate that and how much that means to me. Lucas, I have followed you for quite a while now. I respect everything that you say. I watch your videos. I repost your videos. The knowledge that you have is incredible, and it is something that can be spread to the entire country and needs to be.
I appreciate
love what
that.
you're doing. I support what you're doing, and I will always be here for you.
I appreciate that, Jess. You're awesome. So but I really want you to do this though. Okay. I really want you to do me a favor and really look into it. Okay. Cause I think you can do something really great and make some changes where you were at. You're good people.
I think that my only problem within that.
Nope. No more problems. Just go check it out. Talk to me about it the next time.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Good. All right. See you later. And then now Health and Happiness, you are awesome. And thank you again. You're always here. I very much appreciate you. You're always here. So I don't know. So thank you very much again. You've been great. I owe you. So, DM me anytime you need anything from me. I'll let you, I'll obviously, how could I say no?
Have a great evening. Go make those videos.
You as well. I'll talk to you later. Okay.
You bet.
Okay. See ya, everybody.